Hello, everybody. There's the timer. Stream the video game. Go live on YouTube. Hope that the overlay is working. It no longer says loading. So hopefully the overlay is working. Let me just check. Oh, I see it. Why is the chat, I saw it. Hold up. I see it. I see the words. Let me see if I can make it bigger. The chat messages, I'm increasing the length of time for the messages to stay up there. Okay, should work. Oh, there it is. The overlay is working. Y'all see it? Beautiful! We have YouTube chat working on the streaming overlay. Indeed. It's probably only gonna show like two messages at a time, but that's fine. As long as it's visible. Okay. We are now gonna play the Ace Attorney Investigations collection. We are in the middle, I say middle, but we're at the beginning of Turnabout for the Ages. We are currently investigating the murder of the president of Zhangfa. After investigating the kidnapping of Eustace Winter in the place of Sean Fenn, who was Judge Gavell's son. Okay, let's continue. We need to catch this this criminal who murdered the president of Zhangfa. Eustace was kidnapped? Yeah, he was kidnapped. April 6th, 2:52 p.m. Big building, empty lot. Could you maybe calm down a little? Calm down? No way, Jose. Not until y'all come clean. It's for your own good, god dang it. Wait, so we have been watching a fake Eustace get whipped the whole time? No, he got kidnapped during the last case. I mean, during this case, case 5. Our intrepid reporters refuse to give up, even in the face of repeated stonewalling from the crew. Look, you ladies need to stop harassing these people, or I'll have to ask you to... You cops sure got a lot of nerve. Y'all are the ones who let Torosaurus run wild. Hoping to hide the fact that they bred this menace themselves, the staff cling desperately to their story. Look, we're really not breeding anything. This is a movie set. There's a gal who told me she done seen Gordy with her own danged eyes. Sure, I saw something, but that doesn't mean we're keeping monsters here. Alright, break it up. Oh, Miss Edgeworth. And Sean. Y'all on the trail of this here monster infestation too, huh? No, we're on the trail of a criminal. Long G says. The darkness of a criminal's heart can sometimes be compared to a monster. That is to say, a killer is no different from a monster, really. Agent Long, this is highly irregular, sir. We can't allow members of the public onto the crime scene. These people are important witnesses. I need them to be here. Well, Agent Long, here we are. Where do you intend to begin? Let's start by summing up the facts. President Wong's body was discovered here this morning. He hadn't been seen since the night before last. Yes, he slipped off without his bodyguards noticing, if I remember correctly. So he was missing for over a day. And the last person to see him alive was you, Judge Gabelle, on the roof of the big building. Interestingly enough, there's no blood, yeah. I wonder how he really died, because I doubt he was crushed to death. So he couldn't have had that thing fall on him, yeah. Why did the two of you arrange to meet? I'm sorry, but I can't say. Not even to defend yourself from an accusation of murder? Why can't you just tell us? Please, Judge Gabelle, we're trying to help you.
Not so fast!
Huh, she can't say because she'll only incriminate herself even more. I know you had something to do with the president's murder, and I'm going to prove it. Otherwise, you would have had a nice president-flavored drink. Yeah, yuck.
Objection!
You said yourself that the body was only found this morning. How do you explain the time that passed between Judge Gabelle's meeting with the president and then?
Not so fast!
That's exactly what I'm hoping we're about to find out. I'm particularly interested in what happened last night. So why don't you tell us exactly how it all went down, Sean Fenn? Me? We know you were here on the set last night. You were, Sean? We have testimony from the woman over there and forensic evidence from the footprints that proves it. You came back to run your lines, right? What? You were spying on me? I'm sorry. I was just making sure you were okay. It was late. I was worried about you. How many times do I have to tell you? I don't need you to worry about me. Sean, that's no way to talk to an adult. He was trying to look out for you. Apologize this instant. Sorry. I've told you before, I won't have you speaking to people that way. Wow, this is a whole new Judge Gabelle. He has more milk in his bag. God damn it. He's a thirsty boy. Thirsty growing boy. Needs that milk for his bones. It seems she's just as strict with her son as she is with those who break the law. Are you listening to me? If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. You must. There's like 6 cartons of milk in his bag. It's the only thing he carries. He's even got a little dairy, a little cow thing on his book bag. And that book bag is actually what Japanese elementary schoolers wear. It must be, I mean, it must be the only way to keep all his milk cartons in one place, I guess. His sweater also has cow patterns. That's so true. And I want you to remember that, alright?
Not so fast!
Can we get on with the investigation now? Oh, of course. Forgive me. I don't think I've ever seen her so passionate about anything. I guess Judge Gabelle the mother will take a little getting used to. Are we to understand that you're accusing Sean of being involved somehow, Agent Long? I just want the truth. I need to know why the president was killed. And by who. And I don't care what it takes. I'm going to find out. I guess it makes sense for him to be so determined. The president was practically family to him. Alright, Sean, perhaps you could tell us what happened last night? Fine by me. I've got nothing to hide. About last night. I had a bad day yesterday. Messed up a couple of takes. We were scheduled to shoot the same scene again today. So I thought I'd put in some extra practice. And that's what I did. It's that simple. It's not like I haven't done it before. It was fine. Nothing happened. You've been rehearsing late at night again? But when I called you yesterday evening, Sean, you said you were at the hotel. You called him? Around what time? It must have been 11 p.m. or thereabouts. It was one of our rules. When Sean stays away from home, we have to speak every night. Yeah, well, I wasn't at the hotel. I was here on set. So you lied to me? Sorry. Ooh, now she's mad. I think it's kind of amazing how hard he wants to work in his acting, though. Nonetheless, a parent can't help but worry. For a child alone late at night, anything could happen to him. And indeed it did. He got himself entangled in this case. But he said nothing happened, right? He did, although I can't help but wonder if he was telling the truth. Rebuttal. I had a bad day yesterday. Messed up a couple of takes.
Hold it!
A bad day? Could you elaborate a little? What, I have to spell it out for you? It was just bad, okay? Huh. What do you think? Did he drink too much milk, maybe? How did you... I mean, no! Nothing like that! Stop drinking the milk! Stop it! It's not gonna help you grow. So it might be more accurate to say that his stomach had a bad day. Huh. I thought milk was supposed to be good for your digestion. Shut up! We're done talking about that. The point is, I messed up those takes. We were scheduled to shoot the same scene again today.
Hold it!
So you wanted to rehearse your lines in preparation for the reshoots? Yeah, I caused enough trouble for everybody messing up things the first time around. I wasn't about to do that again. I'm a pro. He's gonna turn into a solid block of bones soon? Absolutely. One can only admire his dedication and his sense of responsibility to his coworkers. Sean takes his work so seriously. He's a real inspiration to everybody. Even the takes he said he messed up, it wasn't like there was actually a problem. He just wanted to make them as good as they could be. He always says that even a tiny bit better is... Shut up! Why do you always have to say stuff people don't need to hear? Oh, sorry, Sean. He could maybe work on his people skills a little more. Anyway, as I was saying... So I thought I'd put in some extra practice. And that's what I did. It's that simple.
Hold it!
Sean, about what you just said, how many times have I made you promise? If you're going to rehearse on your own, you have to tell me. I know. Well, that little outburst rather stole my thunder. Let me ask again about what you just said. I think it's pretty cool though, Sean. What? More interruptions? It's all the hours of practice that make you the best you can be. Little by little by little. I'm the same. I went from small-time thief to average thief. And before I knew it, greatness beckoned. But now that I finally made it, I'm not about to stop doing my best. And neither should you. May I continue? Now, Sean, do you often rehearse alone? Finally, I got my question out without being interrupted. It's not like I haven't done it before. It was fine. Nothing happened.
Hold it!
Are you sure about that? What do you mean? Of course I'm sure. It was just a regular evening. Nothing out of the ordinary. Huh? A regular evening? How can you say that? Somebody was... Hey, he's just a child. You mustn't be too hard on him. Nothing happened. Really? Nothing to do with the case anyway. At least that's what it sounds like he wants us to believe. But wait, don't we have some evidence related to what happened last night? We do, and we also don't have time to be humoring the lies of a child. Let's use what we have to point out the contradiction in his testimony. Okay, yeah. We do have the video. Right here.
Objection!
Nothing happened. I'm sorry, but you're lying. This proves it beyond a doubt. Wait, that's... How did you... That's right. Your rehearsal tape. What? You have video footage from last night? We do, and if you watch it, you'll see that it was no ordinary evening. There's a footprint there already. There is, and I'm not sure that's an everyday sight, even on a film set. Sean, why would you keep this from me? No reason.
Not so fast!
Liar. That stuff might work on your mommy, kid, but it's not gonna work on me. Why did you hide the tape? Sean, you have to tell us. You? Look, I just didn't want anybody to see me rehearsing, okay? I don't like it. Oh my god, there's been so many cases of ellipses in this case. It's like half the dialogue is just ellipses. Even more ellipses. So you were embarrassed? Is that it? Yeah. What's so weird about that?
Not so fast!
That's why you didn't hand over vital evidence? Sean, how could you? Ah! Oh, give me a break. You know about it now, don't you? Sure, the footprint was there, but I just ran my lines and went home. That was it. What, and nothing about the giant monster footprint struck you as weird? It's a giant monster footprint! On the set of a giant monster movie. Not like there isn't all kinds of other weird stuff around here. I don't buy it for a second. Steve, there's something hinky about this kid, sure as I'm standing right here. Thanks, Skippy, there is. He's hiding a scoop under them there horns, and my name ain't Lotta Hot. Oh, shut up, both of you. I'm done talking.
Objection!
No, you're not. What? The footprint isn't the only strange thing about last night. What other unusual occurrence happened yesterday evening? The fucking president died? Is that it? Or is there something else? Okay, maybe it is the president's murder. This piece of evidence points to something else strange that happened yesterday evening. It does? What? You don't see it? No surprises there, I guess. You're still only a child. There's the guy who clearly thinks like one. Get that junk out of my face. No! I must have messed up somehow. You need to think back over everything that happened yesterday one more time. We do. I'm not about to let that boy mock me again. Seriously, I think you have more important things to be getting upset about right now, don't you? Come on, what happened last night again? We have to think. I don't know. What else happened last night? Was it the movie set locks? Okay, so it's not the footprint, because we already talked about the footprint. Ellipses. More ellipses. This?
Take that!
Damn it. It wasn't that either.
Take that!
Okay, it's not that either. Hello, Sprocket. How you doing? I'm currently stuck. Yeah, what other... Okay, what unusual occurrence? Oh, this thing,
Take
maybe?
that!
Ah, it was this. Ah! What about the picture? I figured it out. It was this. The model of Torosaurus' head fell from the roof of that trailer last night. Did you expect us to believe that you knew nothing about that? I don't know what you're talking about. Is that so? I told you, I ran my lines, I went home. That was it. What do I know about some stupid falling head? Or are you saying you can prove I know something? Sadly not. It's entirely possible that the head fell after Sean left. No proof, huh? Then this conversation is over. Something tells me he doesn't want to talk about last night any more than is absolutely necessary. What is he hiding?
Not so fast!
Hold it right there. What is it, Agent Long?
So it's just as I thought. Thanks, Mr. Prosecutor. This footage of yours backs up my theory nicely.
What? There was something else on that tape?
Yep, look closely. See the costume up in the top left?
Oh yeah, the Torosaurus suit.
Something's different. Do you see it?
Yeah, it's open. I'm not sure. He's just kind of hanging out and looking a little saggy. Oh, and the zipper on his back is done up tight. The zipper? Huh? That's...
Yeah, I guess you all see it now, right? On the tape, the zipper is wide open. Why? Because somebody's inside the suit, that's why.
What? Mr. Powers, that zipper. What can you tell us about it?
Oh, well, we always close it up tight when the suit isn't in use. That's right, Mr. Prosecutor. And do you remember something else I said not so long ago? Let me refresh your memory. What if your friend Gavel pushed the president off the big building the night before last, and then came down here to the movie set and hid the body somewhere?
Here? But where?
There's all kinds of stuff down here. Costumes, equipment, you can hide it anywhere. And then come back a day later, last night in other words, and take it out again.
You're saying the body could have been hidden in the Torosaurus suit?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Isn't that right, Gavel? You pushed the president off of the roof just like I said. Then you hid his body inside that costume. I most certainly did not.
Not so fast!
Protest all you like, I'm not going to believe you. You're the only person who could have done this.
Objection!
I thought we already proved that would have been impossible. The movie set was locked at the time. There's no way Judge Gavel would have been able to get in here.
Not so fast!
What if she had an accomplice?
What?
I've got a little theory for you. I think you're gonna like it.
Hope he's not gonna say the child was the accomplice. Mother and child murderers? Oh, come on, Agent Long. Get real. I can't believe he's trying to push this bullshit. Ain't no way.
What if Sean was waiting down here when Gavel pushed the president off of the roof? If the two of them were working together, the problem of the lock goes away. They then work to hide the body together, too. By dragging it over to the Torosaurus suit and stuffing it inside.
This is turning into an EWU video, goddammit. What is EWU? You think the murder was really that carefully planned?
It was the assassination of a world leader. It could only have been carefully planned.
Overruled!
Explore with Us True Crime YouTube channel? Ah, okay. To suggest that Sean could have been involved in this it's unthinkable.
Not so fast!
You're my prime suspect. What makes you think I'm going to listen to a word you say?
But what about motive? What reason would either of them have to kill President Long?
Who knows, but we'll find out soon enough. She was the last one to meet with him, and she won't tell us why. Pretty darn suspicious. Even you have to agree with that.
Also, I'm fairly certain it's pronounced E-woo in one go. Ah, E-woo. That's cute. Judge Gavel, I don't suppose I can convince you to share any more details? My apologies, but that is the one thing I cannot do. However, rest assured, should that ever change, you will be the first to know. So please, you...
Have to believe me? Yeah, murderers have a habit of saying that. What about you, kid? Any weak excuses to offer? If so, now's the time to get them off your chest.
Ha! I've got nothing to say to you. I'm innocent.
Both as tight-lipped as each other, huh? But let me guess, you're still going to try and stick up for them?
It's true. Judge Gavel's actions certainly make her seem suspicious. But nothing she has told us amounts to a motive for murder, or even the suggestion of one.
No, and like I said, I'm leaving motive aside for now. For the moment, I'm focusing on means and opportunity. And for my money, these two had to be working together for their little plot to succeed.
Rebuttal, mother and child murderers. Come on.
What if Sean was waiting down here when Gavel pushed the president off of the roof?
Hold it!
You're seriously suggesting that a child could have been an accomplice in this murder? Clip that? You can clip it yourself with exclamation point clip. Look at him, he's still in elementary school. No no way a kid that young would be involved in something like this. I think I mentioned that he's in junior high, right?
Knock him back!
Long G says, did he know wolf, be he cub or grizzled elder? It doesn't matter how young he is. If he's guilty, he's guilty, and he'll be treated as such.
Wow, wolf cubs have it hard, huh?
I'm surprised at you, Mr. Prosecutor. You're saying he deserves mercy just because of his age?
Of course not. I'm saying that there's no way he did this, and I'm going to prove it to you.
I'll look forward to it, but be warned, I'm only just getting warmed up.
I'll place a little marker there then. So I can look at I can get there real quick in the VOD.
If the two of them were working together, the problem of the lock goes away.
Hold it!
Goes away how exactly?
I thought you might try this, but you and I both know exactly how. Let me make it nice and simple for you. First, she pushes the president off the roof.
Pushes? Okay.
Then the kid opens the combination lock because he knows the code.
Yep. Kid opens code, knows lock. Gotcha. Okay, the other way around.
And that's it. That's simple. No more lock to worry about. And no more objections about her not being able to get in because she didn't know the code.
That would explain away the problem of the lock, it's true. Thank you for your clear and incisive explanation, Agent Long. Please, continue.
I will, and hopefully this next part will shut you up for good. They then work to hide the body together, too.
Hold it!
But if the two of them were working together, why would they need to hide the body for a full day?
Knock him back!
Well, look at the situation right in front of you. Thanks to that little ruse, we're still puzzling over what they were up to even now. But if you'll let me speak, I can clear up this whole mess once and for all. Ready? Good. But like I was saying, they work together to hide the body. By dragging it over to the Dwarfsaurus suit and stuffing it inside.
Hold it!
The video footage doesn't show the inside of the suit. You can't say for certain that there was a body in there at the time, can you?
Maybe not, but we can take a look right now. Let's open it up and see what's inside. I'd put money on us finding proof that it was there.
Do you mind if we examine the suit, Mr. Powers?
Oh, not at all. Might be a little bright though. It's pretty sweaty in there.
Huh, it's filthy.
Yeah, that's weird. I always clean it out pretty good. If you don't, it can get kind of moldy.
Knock him back!
In other words, what we're looking at is proof that somebody other than you used the costume. That dirt in there must have come from the body.
I guess the president was lying right in the middle of that footprint. He probably would have gotten pretty dirty.
Exactly. Well, everybody happy? The inside of the suit is covered with dirt. It must be from when the body was hidden there.
Hold it!
If the dirt is from when the body was hidden inside the suit, we're assuming that it came directly from the body, correct?
Huh. What are you even talking about? Of course we are. Where else would it have come from?
It really is pretty filthy in there, huh? The dirt got everywhere. Especially around the part where the chest would have been. The chest? I think that might be an important clue. His theory hangs together pretty well, I have to say. It's certainly the case that they could have carried out the murder if they were working together. I don't think we stand to gain much by disputing that. So what do we do instead? We listen carefully to his testimony once more, and see if we can tease out anything of value.
Objection!
Okay, it's not that. The gloves have the same yellow dirt, and even particles of the concrete on them. So I thought that was the answer.
Objection!
Okay. So our assumption is that the inside of the suit is dirty because the dirt came from the body. Would it be safe to say that's the case?
Why? Is there a problem?
The part of the suit directly in front of the opening is particularly dirty. Yeah, it really is. But look at the victim. The area of his body that would have been in contact with that part of the suit isn't dirty at all. If the victim had been crammed in there, as you suggest, his chest would surely be covered in dirt.
Ugh. Fine. So what's your explanation? How did all that dirt get inside there?
Based on the videotape, there may well have been somebody in the suit at the time. So who was it if it wasn't the president? Come on, Kay, think. Where was it? Is something the matter, Kay? I've seen dirt like that somewhere else, I'm sure of it. I just can't think where. Dirt with weird little gray bits in it. Gray bits? He's right, there is something mixed in there. It was stuck to something else we looked at. Lots of it. Stuck to something we looked at? An item of evidence, maybe? Is probably worth checking. Does one of the items we found have a similar kind of dirt stuck to it? Yes, this is exactly what I meant.
Take that!
As Kay pointed out, the dirt in the suit contained small flecks of something gray. Yeah, these gloves belong to Excelsius Winner, Eustace's father.
Uh-huh. And?
We've discovered similar flecks stuck to an item belonging to somebody we recently had dealings with. The item in question being these gloves.
You're right. The dirt does look similar. But, so what? What are you saying this stuff is? What exactly are these gray flecks of yours?
I believe the gray flecks are... Surely they're flecks of concrete. Oh, like all the little broken up bits around the footprints, you mean? Exactly. And who did the gloves on which we found similar dirt and gray flecks belong to? Chairman Winner! We found them in his garage! That's right, we visited the garage at his home earlier today, and we found a pair of mechanic's gloves covered in dirt. And if I recall correctly, a sledgehammer and a shovel too. Why would a pair of mechanic's gloves be covered in dirt? I'll tell you why, because somebody wore them while they used that hammer and shovel. A pretty sick fight? Yeah, it really is. He's at least got pretty interesting taste. They smashed the concrete to the dirt below, staining the gloves with both substances. But for what reason would they do this, Edgeworth? Why would they feel the need to do this? Wait, so you're saying... Yes, that we finally know what these footprints really are. It seems highly likely that they were dug by Chairman Winner.
Not so fast!
Highly likely? Ha! If that's so, then tell me this. Why the heck did he make them? What purpose could they possibly serve?
Why indeed? I imagine he must have been... digging something up? It would make... Okay, maybe he was digging something up. I think he must have been digging something up. I imagine events unfolded somewhat like this. There was something on this lot that he needed to unearth. In order to do so, he cut the chain on the side entrance and gained access from there. He then used the sledgehammer and shovel to dig the 3 footprints. When he found what he was looking for, he backed it up and filled in all the holes. Ah, but then Sean must have showed up, right? I think he did, yes. Chairman Winner would have had to find a hiding place, and the Torosaurus suit provided just that.
Gah. You got all that from a pair of dirty gloves? Good, but it's all just speculation. We don't have any proof that he was inside that suit. He could have dug those holes and gotten out of there before the kid even showed up.
Objection!
But he didn't, and there's proof of that right there, in the footage. It shows that Chairman Winner was still present when this recording was made.
What?
It's a shame that Agent Lon didn't notice it himself.
Cub just redeemed clown nose.
Redeeming everything, huh?
Cub just redeemed autism preacher.
Yeehaw! Is next.
Cub just redeemed yeehaw.
And then next is the pat my head redeem.
Cub just redeemed pat my head.
Thanks for redeeming all of that. I certainly look fashionable now. But if we compare the situation as we see it now to the situation as it appears on Sean's rehearsal tape, and compare that in turn to what we saw in Chairman Winter's garage, it soon becomes clear that the chairman was present. Look, see? Eustace got kidnapped, and he was taken to his own home because they mistook him for Sean. What the fuck? Yeah, I know. But he's become a stronger person because of it. What part of this image shows us that Chairman Winter was still here? I mean, this is open, so. The suit is unzipped. You could probably see him though, if it's unzipped. Maybe the bag? I'll do the suit first.
Take that!
Nope. It wasn't that. The bag! Okay, so it was the bag.
Take that!
Look at the bag next to the Torosaurus suit. We saw the same bag in Chairman Winter's garage. The same bag. The dirt on the gloves. That has to indicate a connection, surely. I think that pretty much seals it. It was Excelsius Winter in the suit. And if he was there, if he was in there, the president's body can have been.
Ayah!
Good. It seems I've convinced Agent Long of the flaws in his theory.
Somebody get to Chairman Winter's house right away. We need to know what's in that bag. Yes, sir.
Y'all done lost your minds. I can't believe what I'm hearing here. What is this hog swill? This is all we need. Then right there's Torosaurus footprints, dang it. Ain't no holes dug by no old guy. I think I've demonstrated more than adequately that that's exactly what they are. Don't matter to me none what you just done did. I don't believe it, and that's it. I done told y'all. I seen that big bad bull with my own 2 eyes. The giant eye peering in at the window. I thought we'd gone past that nonsense. We ain't about to let that go. What kind of journalists would we be if we did, huh? Responsible ones? But I guess that's the whole problem. Wait, ain't like it was just about the footprints, no how. You were seen fraternizing with one of them there monsters, is that correct, young man? By the young lady over there, if I'm not very much mistaken.
We're never going to get anywhere with these two around.
Maybe if we could prove to them that wasn't a monster either, they might finally drop it.
What the fuck does Lloyd have a primed bear trap strapped to her bag? I don't know.
What are you thinking, Mr. Edgeworth? Any bright ideas?
Prove that it wasn't a monster? Fine, I don't suppose there's much else for it. Let's see what we can do. I never noticed the bear trap. It looks like she's always going camping, I guess. She has the whole getup.
What are you two whispering about? Y'all are hiding something, ain't ya? Admit it. Quick, Tabby, roll tape.
Hold it!
No, but why would it be primed? I don't know. It seems a little dangerous. Maybe she just likes living on the dangerous side. Can I politely ask that you both calm down? The monster the boy was seen talking to, we know what it was now. If she touches that thing with her elbow, her arm gonna go bye-bye. That's so true.
Huh? That's right. Sean's rehearsal tape finally cleared up that particular mystery. It did?
The point at which Miss Nichols thought she saw Sean with Wardy.
That would have been right when he was making his rehearsal tape. I think she mistook a certain object for the legendary creature of the lake. There's so-called monsters right here in this picture. I wanna watch stream, but I have like 5 gigabytes of data left. Aww. Well, I mean, the stream VOD will be on YouTube at least. So you could always watch that. Huh? I don't see no Gordy. That ain't nothing but a dumb snapshot. You're talking to a pro here. Can't fool me with no trick photography. What was Miss Nichols' Gordy really? It was this, the camera thing.
Take that!
Turn down the quality? You could, yeah. The captions will stay the same quality, too. That's right, it was a camera crane. That is what Miss Nichols saw, not Gordy. What? Sean's rehearsal tape was shot from a noticeably elevated viewpoint. A viewpoint that would only have been possible if the camera in question was attached to a crane. Goes all the way down to 160p. Yeah, it does. Oh, how the heck would she make a mistake like that, huh?
Objection!
How indeed, Miss Nichols. Yes? You told us that you think you might need new glasses, didn't you? Yeah, my eyesight got way worse all of a sudden. And I imagine that when you saw Gordy, when you thought you saw Gordy, he was quite heavily shrouded in darkness. I'm trying to build this Stopebot, but I'm struggling to wrap my head around object-oriented programming. I'm used to classic linear programming. At least you're trying. I hope you're able to succeed. I could, but if I run out of data, it's GG's, no internet? That's true. That's right. I only really saw a silhouette. But you done told us! Seemed like an enormous worm, you said. Y'all about to try and tell us your precious crane up and grew skin somehow? Or worse, fuck it, we ball. No! Ain't even no flesh on them there metal bones, let alone skin. You're entirely correct, of course. I bet the crane as it was in this particular picture anyway. But it did have a skin of a sort last night. I knew you were a scoop hater, but this is plumb crazy. You want Tabby and me to starve, is that it? That wasn't my intent at all. But I do think it's time I finally put them both out of their misery. Gordy's skin is right here in front of us. It wasn't skin at all. It was this. This.
Take that!
Miss Nichols told us that it seemed likely to rain last night. That never happened in the end. But I think Sean may have covered the crane with rainproof sheeting, nonetheless. And that, my intrepid young reporters, is what Miss Nichols mistook for Gordy's skin. I always forget some people have data caps. They don't make any sense because that's not how network routers work. It's just an artificial limit they add post hoc for no valid reason. Through our words. It's just to exploit people, really. Steal money from them. What? Oh no! She almost lost her arm, Cubed! Look at the bear trap! Aw, heck. Well, Sean, am I mistaken? You see everything, don't you? Gotta say, you're pretty amazing. Yeah, you did fucking call it. I could probably, clip that. Let me do that. Let me clip it. And I can, go back and clip the other part where you said that it was primed. Devil Child, get the holy water. Hi, Relics! Gotta say, you're pretty amazing. I'm sorry, Miss Hart, but Miss Nichols' monster was no such thing. It was simply a trick of the light. And just like that, the dream dies. Again. Chief, that Melody Outgo's Cowzilla case? It's going pretty well. We're still in the beginning, of course. Right? Let me check if we're in the beginning still. Yep, it still says beginning. I think that may finally shut them up. I also got my YouTube overlay working. So if someone on YouTube talks, they'll see the messages on the stream overlay again. It turns out I had to download StreamerBot on my laptop, the one that I use for streaming, because the only way for the YouTube chat overlay to work is if it's connected to the WebSocket server on StreamerBot locally. So I was trying to do it on my desktop, but that didn't work. I tried. But every time I tried to connect it to a port on the laptop, it would say that it was invalid. It's so weird. I don't know why. Mawar? I thought the kid was holding out on us. But it seems I could have maybe been a little wrong, maybe?
Alright, we know what the so-called monster was now. Everybody happy?
Everybody except these two.
Agent Long. The president's autopsy report is out, sir.
Get bear trapped? Ah, there it goes. Thank you for the clip.
It is? Let me see it.
I wonder how he died. He obviously wasn't crushed.
Death was due to full-body contusions and bone breakages caused by extreme pressure from above.
Never mind. He did get crushed to death. What a nasty way to go.
Do we have our cause of death? He was crushed.
Just as we thought. It's a bear trap. Trust Lloyd, damn it.
Test results still haven't come back from the yellow substance found in his chest. But they did find gunshot residue on his right hand.
Gunshot residue? Guess he was a kid at heart, huh? Gunshot residue, Kay. It's a substance left behind when a firearm is discharged. Its presence indicates that the president may have used a gun. Really? But we didn't find a gun anywhere, did we? Indeed not, which makes the residue something of a riddle. We'll need to read that report carefully. Well, Agent Long, that clears one thing up at least. Let me look at the autopsy report now. Oh, it's not in our evidence yet. But then why was his body mostly intact? I guess they didn't want to show something that nasty. Well, Agent Long, that clears one thing up at least. The president didn't die from a fall, which means he wasn't pushed from the roof of the big building. He was crushed by the falling Torosaurus head, just as we said he was.
Guess I have to accept that now. Fine, you were right.
Amazing! So does that mean Judge Gabelle isn't a suspect anymore either? Surely it must. Both the cause and time of death rule are out. He met with the president the night before last, but the autopsy report puts the time of death at around 11 p.m. last night. And we note that the Torosaurus head fell around then, too. The facts all line up perfectly. But they couldn't have at least showed him slightly crumpled. They probably should have. To make it clearer. Phew! What a relief! But that doesn't mean that Sean didn't do it. He could have pushed it. That means that Sean is still a suspect, I think.
Not so fast!
Sorry, it might be a little too soon to celebrate.
What?
Sure, I think we can accept that the falling head must have been what killed the president. But that begs the question of what could have caused it to fall. Or who.
We know it happened late last night, so we had to think about who was here at that time. But he's a kid. Then again, kids have their ways. He's 13 years old, but he looks like an elementary schooler. Just like me at that age. People still mistake me for a teenager, at least.
Overruled!
What are you getting at exactly? You can't mean...
I'm afraid I do. You did it, didn't you? Sean. The kid's hiding something. He was right here last night. Right where the body was found. He saw the footprints.
Fucking make Judge Gabelle male.
Cub just redeemed change a character's voice/accent.
Okay.
Fuck it, make Judge Gabelle male.
I'll do that.
And yet he wants us to believe he knows nothing about what happened? That's a big ask, surely.
Objection!
We haven't yet established if the footprints had anything to do with the murder. So even if he did see them, that doesn't mean he was involved.
Not so fast.
Maybe not, but his face tells me different. As does the fact that he's shaking like a leaf.
It does seem like Agent Lon might be onto something, but I don't think Sean's going to talk.
Fine, keep your mouth shut, kid. I have a better idea. What if we let your tape do the talking?
What exactly are you planning, Agent Long?
The police have some pretty sophisticated image analysis tools these days. You would go to such extreme lengths to see my son convicted?
It's not ideal, but if the boy won't talk, we don't have any other way of getting to the truth. Detective Gumshoe, you have exact...
Sprocket_clown just redeemed change a character's voice/accent. Make Link Californian.
So, you want me to give him a Valley Girl voice? I could do that. I don't know if I could do any other voice for that. So I'll give him a Valley Girl voice. Detective Gumshoe, you have access to exactly such a device, do you not? Like Surfer Dude? Okay, I'll try. I'm not sure how to do it though. I'm not very good at accents.
Sure do. Lil V! Good! Then that should make this nice and quick. Mr. Edgeworth, might I request that it be you who carries out the analysis in question?
Why me?
I fear that Agent Law might be inclined to believe the worst.
Image analysis isn't exactly my specialty, but alright. We will have no female voices in this house. Gonna be as difficult as possible to separate the voices when you're just listening. Are there new clues to be discovered somewhere in the image data, I wonder? New clues? Oh, look at that! Look who's here! It's the president! Eureka! What the? What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Let me see. Huh? Eek!
What is it? What's the matter? Show me. Mr. Edgeworth, the court asks that you share your findings.
Zoom in on the top right part of the image and look closely.
There's a person there. It's the president? Oh my.
What? You're kidding, right? That key in her hair feels like it would flop around and whack her in the face if you try to walk too fast. True.
Well, I'd say that's pretty decisive, wouldn't you?
Come on, how do I do the voice? How do I do the accent?
Well, I'd say that's pretty decisive, wouldn't you?
I don't think I can do it. I'm gonna continue trying though. This doesn't look good for Sean at all. Wait, this doesn't prove anything. I didn't know he was there.
I don't believe you. And the image does in fact prove something very important. That you and the president were here at the scene of the crime together. Admit it, kid. You murdered President Wong. No, that's ridiculous. Why? Why would he? Sean, you didn't. You can't have. Can you?
What do we do, Mr. Edgeworth? It's hard to push back against footage like that. Think lots of dude and bruh. Dude, bruh. Surely even you can't deny that this looks pretty bad for the kid, prosecutor. Ah! He claimed he knew nothing about what happened. But the president is right there with him. This isn't working. Sean, what are you not telling us? We have to know. It's better though. I'm trying.
He's right, Sean. Be honest now. It's the only way.
The truth is, it was all my fault.
Sean, what did you do?
It was my fault that Torosaurus head fell off of the trailer.
Oh no!
Sean is confessing what happened while I was rehearsing.
I went up on the roof of the trailer to prep the kit I was using, and I turned on the heater while I was there. I must have left it burning when I came back down to run my lines.
Sean is Krelly coded? Who is Krelly?
Then my mom called, and I left the set to go talk to her. When I came back after the call, the Torosaurus had fallen from the roof, and the president was just there, lying next to it.
A cow VTuber? Oh, okay, cool.
No.
We did find evidence of a fire having broken out up on the roof.
It was just a tiny one, so I put it out by myself.
So we're saying the president died because of Sean?
If he did, that would make this whole thing just an accident.
What did you do with the head after you found it on the ground?
I took it apart, carried the pieces up to the roof, and put it back together again.
Yeah, but the horn, though, was broken off.
Dude, you're saying you put out the fire and moved the head back to where it fell from? In other words, you try to cover your tracks. You're a real piece of work, kid.
It's turning southern. It's giving southern.
It's not like I did any of this on purpose. I really did just forget to turn the heater off.
Yes, and when the fire had burned through the legs, the table would have collapsed, and the head would have fallen down into the ground below. You're right! The fire caused the head to fall. Indeed, and I also happen to have an idea about how the fire may have started. Those cans of paint thinner by the heater are pretty flammable. Not a great place to keep them.
Not so fast!
And you swear it was an accident? Seems a little convenient. What was the president even doing here in the first place?
Imagine just walking around town with a big old carton of milk, and he has extra cartons in his elementary school backpack.
How the heck am I supposed to know? I didn't see anybody, I swear. I still don't believe you. Why would President Wong come to a place like this in the middle of the night?
His reasons for coming here are something of a mystery, it's true. He met Judge Gabelle up on the roof 2 nights ago. But he was also here on the movie set last night. Did he come to meet Sean? In his shocked animation, you can see his pack open up, revealing the milk. Yeah. I think we'll need to go over the boy's statement very carefully indeed. Rebuttal.
I went up on the roof of the trailer to prep the kit I was using, and I turned on the heater while I was there.
Hold it!
You're a fit and hearty young man, Sean. It's spring now. Surely you didn't really need to fire up that stove?
Overruled!
He is a fit and hearty young man who needs to look after himself.
Objection!
Really, Your Honor? But if he resorts to such measures even during warm weather...
Seriously? You two are going to argue over something like that right now?
Fit and hearty must be that milk for your bones. Yeah, he drank so much milk, he's trying to get big and tall. Nice and strong. Yeah, he's right, of course.
You've made your point, Sean, but I've told you before to watch how you talk to people.
I think he was criticizing you as much as he was me, Your Honor.
Yes, Mom. Anyway, where was I? I must have left it burning when I came back down to run my lines.
Hold it!
You left it burning? You didn't think to check before you came back down to the lot? Does the voice reward last for the whole stream? If you redeem it again, I'll change the voice again. But it will last for the whole stream, yes.
I meant to, but I was thinking about my lines in the scene and everything else. It's not my fault I forgot. Everybody forgets stuff.
I sure do. So much stuff. I leave the air conditioner on in Mr. Edwards' office, and the lights. I forget that he told me never to jump off the ladder on his bookshelf or make prank calls. But the one thing I would never ever forget to do is to turn off an unattended heater. That's a lot of stuff, Kay. Please, Sean, go on.
Geez, a lot, huh? Anyway, as I was saying, then my mom called and I left the set to go talk to her.
Hold it!
It was the middle of the night, and the set was deserted. Why did you need to leave in order to talk to your mother?
I forgot I was supposed to talk to her. I got confused, I guess. I thought if I didn't leave, she'd find out I was out of the hotel at night on my own.
That doesn't make sense. You know that, don't you?
Fine. Look, the camera was rolling and the mics were all live, okay? I didn't want our conversation on that tape where everybody could hear it.
He was embarrassed about being recorded speaking on the phone to his mother. So I ditched the rehearsal and ran off set as quick as I could. When I came back after the call...
Hold it!
You pretended to your mother that you were back at the hotel during the call, correct? How come you couldn't tell her you were coming back to the set to practice your lines? Because she'd have phoned the hotel and asked them to send a car to get me or something.
Overruled.
Of course I would. A child your age shouldn't be out on his own late at night. Anything could happen to you.
Children really can't seem to see things from the parents' perspective, can they? It's true the other way around too, you know, Mr. Edgeworth. Alright, Sean, can you tell us what happened when you came back after speaking to your mother?
Huh? Sure. So I came back and... the Torosaurus head had fallen from the roof and...
Hold it!
Were there any signs that it was about to fall before you left?
I don't remember. I was concentrating on my lines.
But a fire had broken out on the roof because of the heater you forgot to turn off. Did you really hear nothing the entire time?
No, I had my headphones on.
Why?
I was playing the soundtrack to the movie to help me concentrate, and I was playing it loud. So yeah, I definitely didn't hear anything.
Except for the sound of your phone ringing when Judge Gavelle called you.
You know that cell phones vibrate these days, right? Anyway. The president was just there, lying next to it.
Hold it!
Did you notice anything unusual about the body?
I don't know. It was dark.
He suddenly seems even more reticent than usual. I don't think he wants to go back over that memory any more than he has to, Mr. Edgeworth. Ad break starts in 1 minute. I'm sure he doesn't, but is that really all it is? Should I push him a little more on this? It was dark, but you knew it was a body nonetheless. He's hiding something. I'd better find out what. Most people would cry out for help if they saw somebody lying on the ground, and yet you didn't.
Yeah, because what was the point? He was dead.
So you said, what I'm interested in is how you were able to be so sure. Why were you certain that he was dead?
He was lying on the ground and that huge head was right next to him. It didn't take much to figure out what must have happened.
Objection!
You couldn't have guessed that the impact would have killed him. How did you really know? I'll tell you how, because you checked.
Fine, I checked, okay? I was scared, but yeah, I went up to the body and I looked and he wasn't breathing.
So I was right. But why try to hide that fact? There must be a reason. Could you tell me how the body looked at that point?
I couldn't tell if he was dead at first. There was no blood or anything, so it was hard to be sure. Nothing on his clothes either. He was completely clean. But yeah, he wasn't breathing. That's how I knew he was dead.
Thank you. I'd like you to add that statement to your testimony if you don't mind. If his body was completely clean, then where did the yellow dust come from? You know? Okay, be right back. What is the charge? Enjoying a snack? A succulent bag of Cheetos? Orange Dust Man. I like Flamin' Hot Cheetos. I like the extra spicy ones too. They're pretty good. music. I'm dancing to the music.
I didn't know he was dead at first. There was no blood and nothing on his clothes either.
The music reminds me of Sonic the Hedgehog with that organ going crazy.
Hold it!
So there was no blood or any other markings that would have told you if he was alive or dead? Would you say that my characterization of your statement is correct?
You know I would. When you saw the body too, you know I'm telling the truth.
You also told us that the lot was dark at the time. And yet you were still able to confirm all this?
What is your problem? There was nothing on his face and nothing on his clothes, okay?
Thank you, Sean. I think that tells us everything we need to know. Yeah, I could also force you to play DKR. I don't know what that is. Why all the focus on how clean his clothes were? Mine are freshly washed, at least. Perhaps you could give us a few details about how exactly you confirmed that the president was dead?
Well, I couldn't tell just from standing there.
Diddy Kong racing?
But then I saw he wasn't breathing. That's how I knew for sure.
Hold it!
How did you confirm that he was no longer breathing?
They taught us how at school, you put your cheek next to the person's nose. If they're breathing, you can feel it. Never thought I'd actually have to do it in real life.
I mean, it's good that they teach them this stuff, but yeah, it takes guts to do it for real. Not bad for an elementary school kid. He's in junior high, K. Try to remember at least that much. Must have been quite a shock coming back and seeing a dead body just lying there, huh? And this was a dead body with a giant Torosaurus head right next to it. Yes, I'm sure it must have been very upsetting. But it does sound like it was an accident, right? Yes, at least it does the way Sean tells it. I'd like to know a little more about it, exactly how things looked around us here at the time. That would require a capture card and an N64 in the cartridge, kind of a tall order. I could use an emulator, yeah. Are the emulators still available? Because I know that Citrus, the 3DS one, I don't think that one's available anymore because of Nintendo. The consistent 30 FPS wouldn't make the physics the same. True. I've never seen this many statements before. You could use retro arch. Nintendo's been going aggro on emulation because they be greedy. Yeah. I wish they hadn't taken down the Switch emulators too. I do have a Switch though, so I can always buy like the games, and it's easier on my computer to use the Switch instead. But it still sucks that they're not available anymore. Okay, it says here, flecks of yellow substance found stuck on clothing still undergoing analysis. Although ideally you'd want to get an N64S controller, the one that 8-Bit Do made was really good. I have an 8-Bit Do controller. This is the one I'm using right now. They are pretty good. I just have a big retro console collection and a capture card. That's cool. Okay, I'm gonna use this.
Objection!
Nothing on his clothes? Nothing at all?
Yeah, nothing. Why? Is there a problem with that?
There's something you're clearly hoping that we've forgotten.
What are you talking about? There isn't! That's not true!
The N64 specific one, it's the N64 layout in a modern form factor. No, I mean that they do make quality controllers is what I meant. So if I were to get one, I bet it would be good. Unluckily for you, we remember it rather well. I'm talking, of course, about the yellow speckles on the president's chest. Ugh, look at those cartons of milk. You've studiously avoided mentioning them throughout your testimony. An absence I find suspicious, to say the least. It's a bit jank getting it set up. The Retro Fighter Brawler 64 is the best N64 controller in my opinion. It's modernized. No more of that tried it nonsense. I don't know why Nintendo thought we were all vortigans with a third arm growing out of our torsos. What's a vortigan? I'm learning a lot. Oh, I hope for your sake that you have a satisfactory explanation.
Overruled.
Her review saying bad things about the stick. It's an alien from Half-Life. Oh, okay. Cabell! Non-Half-Life knowing person spotted. Yeah, it's me. One of my friends in middle school, he bought me Half-Life 2, and I played it once and never played it again.
Allow me to explain.
You?
But the yellow residue on the president's chest. I imagine it was from a bouquet of flowers. Lion lilies, to be precise. Lion lilies? 2 nights ago, when I met the president on the roof of the big building.
You love Half-Life? I've played it over and over again. I'm happy for you.
I presented him with a bouquet. They're a type of lily with large yellow petals. I imagine that the substance on the President Wong's chest was pollen from those flowers.
Huh? But they're not there in the printout from the security camera.
Only because the president is in the way.
Oh, she's holding them. But why give him flowers?
That is not something I am at liberty to divulge.
Not so fast.
What? More secrets? Are you serious? Bruh, first you wouldn't tell us why you met with him, and now you can't even tell us about the flowers? My sincerest apologies. Well, all I can tell you is that I gave him the bouquet.
Objection.
A bouquet that was nowhere near the body when it was discovered. How do you explain that? I probably will stream myself playing the whole series over again at some point if I ever stop having health issues. Today I had a horrible migraine in the middle of work and I had to step away for a while. My head still hurts a little. Oh, migraines are killer. I'm sorry you got a migraine. And that your head still hurts a little. That sucks. DKR is the only real retro game I actually played. Like, played. It's a great game. I played Pikmin 2. That was the first game I streamed on this channel, was Pikmin 2. Before they came out with the Switch versions. I was playing it on the emulator. And it was really fun. A bouquet that was nowhere near the body when it was discovered. How do you explain that? Thank you for the lurk. Gotta go, maybe? I have at least 20 N64 cartridges on the ground next to me at this very moment. Very cool. It's nice to have collections.
I cannot. Seriously, Your Honor. Some things you won't explain, the rest you can't. Come on, you gotta give us something here. You wouldn't let this fly in the courtroom. What makes you think we'll accept it?
Hey, you leave her alone!
Dawn.
I threw the flowers away, okay? You did? So they were there when you first found the body? Yeah, they were right there on his chest. And they were squashed completely flat. Oh, I guess that makes sense, right? He would have gotten crushed along with the president. And the pollen would have been smeared across his jacket front. That does explain things rather neatly. But why remove the bouquet and dispose of it? No reason. He's almost as evasive as his mother. More secrets? They're quite a pair.
Overruled.
There is no secret. I know exactly why Sean disposed of the bouquet.
Huh?
You saw me leave the house with it, didn't you?
Oh, I get it! When you saw the flowers in the president's body, you remembered seeing your mom with them, and felt the need to prevent her from coming under suspicion.
No, you got it all wrong!
That's his least convincing lie yet.
I often decorate our home with lion lilies.
I don't have DKR though. It has more Star Wars games than anything else. Pretty cool though.
I imagine that's why you remembered.
Not so fast.
So the flowers and his mother was carrying showed up on the president's body. And because of that, he got rid of the bouquet and kept quiet about having discovered the corpse. Well, that ties everything up nicely, doesn't it? A little too nicely for my taste.
Right, what's wrong with nice?
I guess you forgot, huh? The kid also told us that he was responsible for the head falling in the first place.
Yeah, he did, but
So we still are only suspects.
Objection!
The finger of suspicion still seems to be pointing firmly in Sean's direction. However, wait. I can think of a far more likely culprit than the boy.
What? Who?
The person who was holding Sean captive until only a short while ago.
That's right, we had to rescue him from a warehouse refrigeration unit down by the harbor.
He also has a cow-printed cell phone. That's so cute.
A refrigeration unit at a depot? Yeah. Lucky it wasn't switched on. Poor kid might have frozen into a popsicle otherwise.
Little bro really likes cows, I guess. I guess so. He's got a little bit of a cow hyperfixation.
He was doing his best to call out for help, which is how we found him.
The sedatives had worn off by then, so he was wide awake and plenty loud. Sedatives? Isn't that what you were given to? Yep, we found the bottle on the floor of the unit. It was even the same brand. Freezies. Apparently, it's super strong. You can't talk clown hyperfixation. I do hope you go to clown college. That'd be pretty cool. Well, Agent Long, surely that suggests that Sean is a victim, not a suspect. Somebody else was responsible, and I think they've been behind all of this.
Not so fast!
Oh yeah? And the secret mastermind of yours was here last night, too?
That, I can't yet say.
Ha! It's not like you to be so vague, Mr. Prosecutor.
Sadly, we just don't have anything to tie our mysterious kidnapper to the murder of the president. I wanna, but I'd have to go all the way to California. Aww. Too bad it isn't remote. It's the same situation with stenography schools, court reporting and captioning schools. There are very few of them in the US. So, when I was in school for that short while, I had to do remote from Delaware to Ohio. Sadly, we just don't have anything to tie our mysterious kidnapper to the murder of the president. So is there anybody else? Somebody other than Sean who could have committed the murder. Ohio mentioned? Yeah. Of course.
So I was right. The kid is still our only suspect.
Objection!
Not quite. I can think of another.
What?
Somebody who we just recently proved was right here on the movie set last night. Excelsius Winner.
Chairman Winner? You think he killed President Wong?
Could like spaghetti intensify? Why not? We've proven that he was present. And if he was here, he's as viable a suspect as anybody else, wouldn't you say?
Winner? Could he really have?
It's certainly another possibility to consider.
12 years ago, he was...
That number again. 12. That's like the one type of food Ohio is famous for. I've never heard of it. Chili spaghetti? That sounds interesting.
Look, a lot happened, okay? This was all 12 years ago or more. My father and the president being friends, our family being the ones who kept him safe.
Very good, actually. Cool.
Lang,
Like the Long from 12 years ago.
yep, good to see that you're finally able to pay for your crimes. Even if it did take a while for you to get what was coming to you.
Agent Long? What happened 12 years ago? You get like a mountain of cheese on top of your spaghetti. As long as it's warm, I'm okay with cheese. I don't like cold cheese. Agent Long, what happened 12 years ago?
It's nothing to do with you.
I think it has everything to do with me. It's clearly connected to this case.
Not so fast!
It's shredded? Yum.
And you can prove that, can you? Go ahead, show me some proof that what happened 12 years ago has anything to do with this.
Proof?
If you can't prove it, this conversation's over.
Does any of the evidence we've collected show a link between recent events and those of 12 years ago? Oh, this, maybe? Is low-key one of my favorite foods, actually. This thing.
Take that!
This letter was sent to Rosie Ringer, the victim of a murder that happened the night before last. We don't know who sent it, but it does say this. Good luck getting your revenge for what happened 12 years ago.
What? But...
And that's not all. Take a look at this. It's a report about Bronco Knight written by Warden LaGuard. It was addressed to Chairman Winner. I don't want to make a redeem on my channel that throws a plate of it on my face. That would be funny, I think. It would be. It'd be a unique redeem. You'd be able to do that with Pits, Warudo, or Vignon. This last part in particular should be of interest to you.
Retrieve the package relayed to rest 12 years ago, in front of the planner?
Something strange is going on, Agent Long. Miss Ringer was murdered the night before last. With what now? Tits? Vignon or Warudo? Miss Ringer was murdered the night before last, and President Wong was not long afterward. Are those programs? Yeah. Yeah, let me actually type them out. There's a connection between the two murders. There has to be. And I believe we can trace that connection to events 12 years in the past. Am I wrong?
These old wounds are opening up here. Insults to my family name.
Please, Agent Long. We need to know. Oh, I was gonna do it in Resonite? I've never heard of Resonite before. What is that? What on earth was that?
Shifu! Huh? What are you all doing here?
Resonite is like VR chat, but way more customizable. Oh, okay, cool.
We came to find you, sir. We heard you were looking into the incident from 12 years ago. Idiots. I'm not your boss anymore. Get back to your duties right now. We can't do that, sir.
My model is a VR avatar first and foremost. Oh, I assumed it was VRM. You can't use VR chat avatars in Tits, Warudo, or Vignon, I think.
You can't do that, sir. What? You're disobeying a direct order? Please, sir, I'm begging you. We all are. You have to reopen the investigation into the SS5 incident.
It's a blend file? Okay, cool.
You know you can't let it go until you figured out what happened, and we can't either.
Well, Agent Long, it seems your former underlings want the events of the past explained too.
You think it's that easy? That you could solve the case just like that?
I think we can. Together.
Huh. Well, alright then. Offer accepted. Yes, Shifu, Shifu, Shifu!
Nice! Then I guess it's my turn to step up. I'm sorry, Kay? You're looking into a case from the past, right? I just happen to have something that'll help with that. Ah, you mean Mr. Thief. Sure do. If you can give me the details of the incident, I can rustle up a little simulation for you.
Sadly, we don't have the files related to the case.
Huh? How come?
Access to those files is restricted. They're top secret.
Really? Why?
Beats me. Somebody must have something to hide. Even I've never seen them. Everything I know, I read in newspaper articles from the time.
That's fine. Just tell us what you can.
Alright.
Oh my god, more of Agent Long talking. I use VC Face when I'm playing flat screen games. I used to use VC Face too. I think someone once referred to it as abandonware though. One of my friends also uses VC Face. I used VC Face before Warudo came out, and then I decided to use Warudo instead. I've tried to use Vignon, but I can't get the tracking to work properly.
The SS5 incident happened on a winter's day 12 years ago. February 10th to be precise.
Weird that they just wrote out the word 10th instead of using the numbers. You're streaming from Linux? I think Vignon works on Linux.
Your police received a call directly from the kidnapper. I've got the president of Zhangfa.
So he was kidnapped?
Yeah, SS5 is the official designation of the president's kidnapping case. The kidnapper wanted $100 million.
$100 million? How much money even is that? More than you can imagine, it seems.
The last person to see the president that night was my father. They were together at the embassy of Zhangfa until midnight on the 10th.
Once again, they're writing out 10th. Weird quirk.
And nobody knows what happened with the president after that until he was kidnapped. Our government did everything they could to scrape together the money. They were desperate to save him. And in the end, they succeeded. The money was handed over and the president came home safely.
So President Wong was head honcho, even back then? Wow, go Mr. President!
The length of time he stayed in power isn't even close to the most impressive thing about him.
Agent Long was clearly very fond of President Wong. I assume the kidnapping was thoroughly investigated?
It was, but the investigation was top secret, as was the trial.
The trial? So a suspect was arrested?
Yeah, none other than our friend Fifi LaGuard.
What? Is that why you visited the prison?
It is. I was put on what you might call extended leave from Interpol. So I thought I'd use the time to look into what happened 12 years ago. And I wanted to see who I was dealing with. She was found not guilty then, wasn't she? Yeah. My father was in charge of the president's security at the time. But they held him responsible for the kidnapping and stripped him of his duties as presidential bodyguard. He stayed on the force though, and he worked the case alone. So eventually he found a suspect, LaGuard. If he thought she did it, there's no way she was innocent. But they declared her not guilty, and the case went cold. My father couldn't take it. He was broken, mentally and physically. Finally, he quit the force altogether.
So he had solid grounds to suspect Warden LaGuard?
He must have had evidence. He wouldn't have charged her otherwise. But I've never been able to see the materials from the case. I'm sorry, but that's all I know.
What do I do, Mr. Edgeworth? This is useful information, but I don't think it's enough for Little Thief to recreate the scene. Ugh, is there really nothing we can do? You look like you could use a hand.
Who's this now?
Oh, it's Fender and Von Karma. Franziska! And Mr. Fender!
We finally wrapped things up over at the courthouse, so we thought we'd see what you kids were up to.
Here. What's this?
It says SS5 Incident Investigation Report.
When Fifi LaGuard mentioned an incident from 12 years ago, earlier, I couldn't help but wonder. So I decided to look into it, and this is what Interpol provided. Nice work, Franziska. Don't get the wrong idea, Miles Edgeworth. You're no longer a prosecutor. I didn't do this for you. I did it so that a colleague could solve his father's final case.
I owe you, sis. But everything related to the SS5 incident was supposed to be top secret.
Yes, but that classification was applied by the prosecutor in charge of the case, Excelsius Winner.
He was the prosecutor in charge? Him again.
And he was working to get LaGuard released. Acquitted, I mean. That's so weird. Don't worry. Due to the outcome of this morning's case, he's been stripped of his authority. An outcome that was in no small part thanks to the efforts of his own son. Eustace. So in defeating his father, he made the old case file available to us? It sounds like we owe him. Prosecutor Eustace Winner is busy wrapping things up after the conclusion of the LaGuard trial. But he asked me to give you a message. Leave Dad and LaGuard to me. You focus on your case over there. He's even starting to sound like a prosecutor.
Indeed he is.
Alright! Now that we have the case file, I can recreate the scene, no problem. Vina doesn't have a Linux build and has a memory leak in Proton. Ah, that sucks. I thought it ran on Linux. My bad. I know that Wardo definitely doesn't. Because I tried Because I put Linux Ubuntu on one of my laptops because Windows was not working well on it. And I tried to use Warudo on it and it did not work. No matter what I did, I just couldn't get it to work. Now that we have the case file, I can recreate the scene, no problem. Excellent, let's get started. Huh. According to the file, the incident occurred exactly where the plaza is now. Then what are we waiting for? With me? Everybody. Apparently works as a Proton V10? Oh. Warudo? You're about to test it? Okay. April 6th, 3:25 p.m. Big Building Plaza. That's a lot of characters. I didn't realize there's so many characters. Alright, Kay, if you could send Mr. Thief in motion. Sure. Looks like there's more than enough here to work with. Where do you want to start? Good question. Let's see. It seems there was an eyewitness. A freelance journalist by the name of Alf Aldown. Apparently, he was killed by the culprit for witnessing the kidnapping.
So this is where you saw it all happen, huh?
Here? As in the big building? No, construction of the big building only began a year ago. Before that, it had been a piece of abandoned property. And before that...
Now we're getting to the stuff I know. 12 years ago, this place would have been the Happy Family Home. Like, for retired people? No, it was a place for children without parents. An orphanage, in other words.
The president was kidnapped from an orphanage?
Yeah, and the place was run by Fifi LaGuard. She called it her happy little home. As the proprietor of the institution, I suppose it's understandable that she came under suspicion. President Wong, Excelsius Winter, and Warden LaGuard? Surely the SS5 incident must be related to our current case. Hey, could you enter the data relating to the murder of Mr. Aldown? It seems sensitive to assume that he was killed by whoever kidnapped the president. So if we solve the murder, we solve the kidnapping! Nice! Alright, we're counting on you. Look at how many characters there are on the screen. What the heck is this? When did I grow to become so blasé towards people's reactions to Mr. Thief? I'm late. Glad I could make it though. Hi, Univerism. How you doing? What we're seeing here is the front yard of the orphanage as it was 12 years ago. At least as far as the police reports describe it. Yeah, this is how it looked when they started investigating at 7 a.m. the morning after the murder. And it seems it had been snowing. Yeah, from what I heard, the footprints wound up being pretty important evidence. The snow fell in the daytime the previous day.
In other words, before the incident occurred. Meaning that none of the relevant footprints would have been obscured by new snow. Hello, hello, my leg is doing better today, so yay. That's awesome! Happy for you. I had Sprocket and Cubes redeemed me changing two of the voices. So I'm trying to do a Californian accent, a surfer dude accent for Agent Long, and I'm not succeeding in it. And I had to make Judge Gavel's voice more masculine. I think we'll need to pay these footprints some special attention. Begin investigation. Orphanage. These footprints stop by the body. I guess that means they belong to Mr. Aldown, right? His feet were pretty big. What's that? About a size 12? According to the file, they were the same size as his shoes. It's a match. These planters. According to the case file, the yard stretched around 3 sides of the orphanage. And there were 3 planters on each side. Yes, planters arranged in a very particular pattern. One we've seen somewhere before. Hey, there aren't many flowers, but I guess it was the middle of winter. Yes, but look at that one. It's bright yellow. Weird, how come there's only one? Wait, it looks like somebody dropped it. That's a lion lily, if I'm not very much mistaken. A rare member of the family Liliaceae. A lion lily, you say? Wait, didn't Judge Cavell give President Wong some lion lilies? What is this same flower doing here? This can't be a coincidence, can it? I believe this particular cultivar is from Asia, where it's said to symbolize the bond between parent and child. I wasn't aware you were so knowledgeable when it came to flowers, Francisca. Ha! What I just told you is common knowledge. Perhaps you just need to read a little more. I'll fall down. The man who witnessed the president's kidnapping. But what exactly did he see? I based this part of the recreation on one of the crime scene photos. It seems he suffered a blow to the back of the head. Yeah, from that brick right there. They figured it must have been taken from here in the yard. It looks like the blood flowed from the head wound and spread over the surrounding area. Here, a gift for you. This is Mr. Aldown's autopsy report. I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. Somebody's dropped a yellow flower here. It's a lion lily, right? According to Francisca, yes. They're originally from Asia, if I recall correctly. Yep, and she said it symbolizes the bond between being painted or tiled, right? It was the bond between parent and child, Kay. This cell phone must have belonged to the victim. You're right! Yeah. It says here in the file that Mr. Aldown made a call while he was watching the kidnapping. A call? To whom? His girlfriend. He called her when he thought that the president was there. But she didn't pick up, so he left a message. That's in here too, if you want to hear it. Please.
Hey Rosie, it's me. I guess you're asleep already. Anyway, I'm here at the orphanage. Something weird is going on. President Wong is here for some reason. And there's another... Damn it, the light's out, so I can't quite see, but... It looks like he was being kidnapped? Anyway, probably nothing, but I thought I should let you know. What were those sounds at the end? He must have been attacked while he was still on the phone. Agent Long, can I ask you something? Mr. Aldown's girlfriend. What was her name? Ringer. Rosie Ringer. At least that's what I heard. Just as I thought.
Wait, you mean... revenge for what happened 12 years ago?
All Miss Ringer was left with were the memories and personal effects of her lover. And so, seeking revenge on Chairman Winner, she made her appearance at the auction.
So she really was out for revenge on Chairman Winner, wasn't she? Perhaps it was for his suppression of the kidnapping. Or perhaps it was because she thought he was one of the kidnappers. I'll fall down. A freelance journalist. Killed after witnessing the kidnapping of President Wong. Even in the recreation, it's pretty gruesome, huh?
It's even worse than the actual crime scene photos. That's a lot of blood.
It seems mostly to have come from the back of his head. As you can see, that area is completely caked. Yeah, the autopsy report says that's where he was hit with the brick. Indeed. I imagine his attacker must have snuck up on him from behind. It looks as if he's clutching something in his right hand. Oh yeah, they mentioned that in the file somewhere. Let's see. According to this, it was a button.
A button?
Torn from the attacker's clothing, perhaps? So the victim was carrying a camera. Oh yeah! According to the file, they recovered the picture. Yeah, here we are. That's... It's the president, right? And somebody's pointing a gun at him. Oh, the button must have come from the snowman. Because you see it's missing an eye. It's got little scrape marks. This must be what Mr. Aldown witnessed. So the person in the trench coat is the kidnapper? Yes, I imagine they were trying to conceal their identity. But if Agent Long's father's theory was correct, the person wearing that trench coat is Gordon LeGuard. How come they only found the one picture? He probably wasn't able to take any more because before he was attacked. Does that mean the kidnapping had 2 people involved instead of just 1? Because if one of them was preoccupied with holding a gun at the president, then someone else must have had to sneak up behind Alldown and kill him. This was the breakiest in the murder. There's stuff made of bricks all around the yard here. They probably took it from somewhere nearby, huh? Ugh. Fresh blood, and plenty of it. According to the autopsy report, he died from loss of blood due to the blow to the back of his head. Yes, and that blood spread out over the entire area. I doubt anybody could have bled that much and survived. Anyway, this certainly seems to confirm what the autopsy report suggests. Is that all? Looks like that's all. Wait, I can still look at them? I don't believe there is any more to be found here. Yeah, why is it telling me that there is, though? I'm not seeing anything more. See? It's telling me that there's more to see there. Fender. These footprints go toward the body and come back. According to the case file, they're thought to be the killers. They're about a size 9. Pretty average, in other words. It seems the police weren't able to track down who the murderer was from them, though. This looks like a snowman, but it's mostly melted. Well, it's no wonder he's all slushy. He's wearing a hat and a scarf. He must have been all roasty toasty. Aw, look at his cute little button eye just lying there. He probably would have frozen back up again at dawn, you know. That's when it's usually coldest. I don't think that would have helped up much, Mr. Edgeworth. If a melted snowman froze again, it wouldn't turn back into a snowman. It would turn into an Iceman. Ugh, what? It's what I bet you wanted me to say, isn't it? Well, too bad. There are burn marks on this pillar here. The report says there was a fire sometime on the evening of the incident. A fire? Let's see. Was it again? Ah! Yeah, one of the orphans set a fire with some kerosene. Some sort of prank, probably. They sound like a lively bunch. Possibly too lively. It seems their antics spoiled our chances of finding any footprints near the entrance of the building. Hey, this arch! We've seen it somewhere before, right? Indeed we have. It's the same one that stands over the entrance of the big building today. But this is supposed to be how things looked 12 years ago. Was it there the whole time? We're back here? Huh? Yeah. We are at an orphanage trying to solve, well, a simulation of an orphanage trying to solve a murder that took place 12 years ago when the president of Zhangfa was kidnapped. It seems the architects worked the old archway into the structure of the new building. The future is simply the past reheated. I think I heard that somewhere. And for once, it seems you might have remembered it correctly. But 12 years ago is a long time to reheat something for. If it was your lunch, it'd be ruined. An igloo shaped like a bear, the perfect balance of cuteness and scariness. I guess you could call it a bigloo. It is quite large. Could probably fit as many as 3 people inside it. Yeah, and they could live in there for 3 whole years. 3 years? And what about the summer? Wouldn't the big igloo melt? Again! Say it again, Miss Edgeworth, please! One more time! Wouldn't the igloo melt? You're no fun! A tortoise and a hare. Inspired by the children's story, no doubt. The tortoise races the speedy hare and wins. Alright, time for a K-Faraday pop-up pop quiz. Why did O'Hare lose the race? I'll give you 3 options. I don't need 3 options, Kay. He lost because he stopped to rest and fell asleep. Number 1, the hare's favorite running shoes were stolen by the Yatakarasu. Number 2, the tortoise trained with the Yatakarasu and got so fast that he won. Number 3, the real winner was the Yatakarasu who plotted a surprise secret victory.
Those are my only options?
Too hard? Alright, I'll give you a hint. The option you're looking for starts with the THR.
Well, that definitely narrows it down. Can I help you, Mr. Edgeworth? I cannot thank you all enough for returning Sean safely to me. I can hardly bear to imagine how I would have felt if he had not come home.
Hey, old guy, can't you see you're upsetting her?
That was not my intent at all.
Look at our little knight in shining armor defending his mom's honor.
Shut up! I wouldn't have to if you didn't keep... That's enough, Sean. Mr. Edgeworth, if you'll allow me, I would like to apologize again. I failed in my duty as a servant of justice. I will not ask you to forgive me. I only ask you to understand that
Judge Cavell, I don't presume to know the goddess of justice as well as you do. But she was a mother, was she not? Of other gods and goddesses?
She was.
Fair judgment requires personal circumstances to be taken into account. I'm sure she would understand. Perhaps your beloved goddess is more merciful than you give her credit for.
Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth.
What are they even talking about? Don't worry, Sean. I don't have a clue either. So things are finally settling down after Warden LaGuarde's trial?
It would seem so. Sentencing is still to come, but the guilty verdict should stand. And do not worry, Excelsius Winter's connection to the case will be thoroughly investigated. Have faith, Mr. Edgeworth. Eustace is a changed man.
Indeed, he simply had some growing to do. But then don't we all? Kay included. Huh, I don't feel for him now. I said some pretty mean things, but I'll make it up to him next time I get the chance.
And I am sure that chance will come. But for now...
Indeed, we need to focus on the case at hand. Boy howdy, is this ever a scoop? Whole world's gone green. Must be an outbreak of something. I'm seeing green trees, green people, green clothes, everything. They must be real sick if even their clothes are green. Looks like we wound up slap bang in the middle of the right dang place at the right dang time. Sure did, Steve. I don't think we're going to get a word in edgewise here, Miss Edgeworth. And I don't think we want to. How dare you, Scruffy! Don't you dare tell anybody. I'll just deny it anyway.
Eek! Miss Edgeworth! You gotta help me out here, sir.
What's the matter, Detective?
It's about the SS5 incident. What else? I know Chairman Winter isn't in charge anymore and all, but a top secret file being available to us so quickly after his removal? Something seemed off. But that got me to thinking, and I put in a call, and they told me that, well, that Miss Von Karma went to some pretty extreme lengths to get that file released.
Curse you, Scruffy! I deny everything! It sounds like you went to a lot of trouble for our sake, Francisca. Don't worry, your efforts won't be for nothing. I'll solve this case. You'll see. Where are we? Orphanage. It's where the big building stands.
3 planters covered with snow.
Is anything the matter, Agent Long?
Yeah, something's not right. I wasn't able to look at the case file until now.
Indeed, you have Chairman Winter to thank for that, it seems.
Yeah, but what's weird is, I've seen this scene somewhere before.
What?
But where? I keep thinking I've got it, but then it's gone.
He appears to be lost in his efforts to remember. Perhaps I should leave him alone for now.
President Wong changed after the SS5 incident. I guess he felt his trust had been betrayed. I can understand that. But to cut ties with my family completely, after how close we'd been for all those years? My father was desperate to make amends, to get just one chance to say sorry. But no matter how many times he tried to get an audience with the president, he couldn't. He couldn't even convince them to take a letter to him. One time he came home covered in bruises. Who knows from where? A bodyguard, maybe? Sigh. Sorry, there's no point making you sit through old stories that won't change anything anyway.
I'll be the judge of that.
As warm and fuzzy as ever, I see. Not that I expected any different. That case ruined my father, and my family too. The people who failed to keep the president safe, that's all we were after that. He threw himself heart and soul into that investigation.
He became obsessed, in other words. Hardly the best state of mind in which to undertake an inquiry.
Wow, you really don't pull your punches, huh? Look, just don't go thinking I'm only doing this because of my dad, okay? That investigation was solid. His work was meticulous, and it was accurate. It always was. He interviewed every single one of those kids, and he made sure they told him everything.
I wonder if he learned anything of value.
Why are you shoving this in my face? You ought to be careful I don't bite it.
Perhaps I'd better put it away.
You want me to tell you about the SS5 incident? In a nutshell, my dad couldn't keep the most important person in Zhengfa safe. So he put everything on the line to try and figure out what happened. He nearly worked himself to death trying to solve that case. Not so bad, he looked like a ghost. Maybe it would have all been worth it if he could have gotten the people responsible convicted. But he couldn't, and that LaGuard woman got off scot-free. He failed to repay the president for all he'd done for us, and he failed to solve the case. And that's how a family of wolves got pulled into this never-ending nightmare. That enough for you?
It sounds to me like one young cub in particular took his family's downfall very badly. I can only imagine how much the experience must have hurt him and his father. We will do all we can to bring this case to its conclusion at last, Agent Long, I promise you. And I hope that the story you just told us proves a useful clue in doing so.
That's all you have to say after I poured my heart out to you? Why do I waste my time? What kind of brat sets a fire like that for fun?
Yeah, we lost a bunch of vital evidence thanks to that little prank. Agent Long, your father investigated the SS5 incident in some depth, correct? Do you know if he learned anything about the child who set the fire?
You wondered about that too, huh? So did I, sadly.
He never shared his thoughts on the matter with anybody?
Yeah, which means the truth is lost to time. Guess we'll never track it down now.
He may not show it, but I get the sense that talking about this is very hard for him indeed. Aren't you forgetting something? Agent Long? Wolves are amazing trackers. You can sniff that truth out wherever it is.
You're right. Who knew you'd be the one to tell me that? Maybe you're not so bad after all.
He's my assistant for a reason, Agent Long. I'm Mr. Edgeworth's assistant for a reason, Agent Long. Presence at embassy until midnight confirmed by Da Long Long. Okay. Oh, an ad break is gonna start in like 6 minutes. It's almost that time. Oh, Fender.
Looks chillier than your chilliest look out there, Maldarino. Somebody might have to warm me up.
Could you maybe take this a little more seriously, Mr. Fender?
For you, K-Meister? Anything. Can't believe this whole sorry tale began right here. Kinda crazy, right?
Yes, it is a little.
What were Fiefs and the chairman up to, though? Where were they going with all this?
Where indeed. I'd very much like to know that myself.
And I'd very much like to know when you two are going to admit how much you love your Uncle Eddie.
Ha! Not anytime soon. Come on, Mr. Fender. You're not taking this seriously at all. You did for about 3 sentences, which is something of a record.
Sifu, I know it's rude of me to ask, but can we count off for old time's sake? Just once? I'm begging you. For old time's sake seems a little sentimental, but fine. Count off! 1. Sorry, Shifu. It just doesn't feel the same on my own. It's kind of lonely. Well, it shouldn't matter if there's one of you or 100. You may be on your own here right now, but the pack is always with you. So quit whining about being alone and howl like you mean it. Count off. 1, 1, 1, 1. He crying? Guess he is crying.
It's a porch swing with an elephant's face on it, and behind it is what appears to be a motor. You know what every dedicated swing fiend always wonders, don't you? If they can swing all the way over the top and back again. Maybe a motorized swing could finally make that dream come true.
Wouldn't that be a little dangerous?
And what dream isn't, huh? Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
True, but hardly applicable in this case. What do you want?
Sean, I wonder if you could tell us a little more about the circumstances surrounding your kidnapping. They took you when you went to the garbage disposal area, right? But what were you doing there?
It's alright. You don't have to talk for him. He could just ask me himself.
Hear that, Miss Edgeworth? I think he's trying to warm to you.
I went to the garbage disposal to throw away the flowers that were on that body. It wasn't far, and I figured they'd be less likely to find them there than if I threw them in a garbage can. I tried to get in there last night, too, but it was locked.
So you have to come back today and try again.
Yeah, but when I was there, somebody came up behind me and put something over my face.
Oh yeah! Snoozing is easy threezy with 3 Z's.
The fact that she was drugged with it too doesn't seem to bother her.
I guess it is a catchy name.
Whoever it was pretty strong, but I never saw their face.
I see. Thank you. That's very helpful.
What can you tell us about the time between when you were kidnapped and when you were found?
Not a whole lot, I'll bet. Snoozing is easy threezy with 3 Z's.
I remember waking up feeling cold. I was somewhere big and empty and dark. There were cardboard boxes with some other language written on them. I figured it must be a storeroom.
But it was actually a giant refrigerator. Businesses use them to keep stuff chilled. And that's where Kay and Detective Gumshoe found him. They really saved the day there.
Guess the cooler must have been on until just before I was brought there. Like I said, it was pretty cold. Anyway, they didn't take my phone for some reason, so I used that to call for help.
I see. Well, we're all very glad that you found your way back to us safely.
Say it like you mean it, why don't you?
He's not the most gracious child I've met. Reminds me of a certain somebody else.
I'm looking around, trying to find other things to talk about. It seems like it's only the body.
Oh, there, the shoes. Footprints were a key part of this case. There was information about the shoes in the file, correct? Yeah, let's see. They're size 12. Feet were clean, no corns, no athlete's foot. Beige socks, thermal underwear in the same color. He dressed old guy style. Brighter socks would have really made that outfit pop. Why not live a little? And that's it for the fashion rundown. Shout out to whoever left these amazingly helpful comments.
And here I thought it was going to be a plain old investigation report. Okay, now it's complete. Oh, maybe I talked to Kay.
What is it, Miss Edgeworth? I can't believe there used to be an orphanage right here on this spot. And that Warden LeGuard was in charge.
And that the SS5 incident took place there 12 years ago.
Yeah, they kidnapped the president of Jingfa. That's crazy.
And they killed Mr. Alldown, the only witness that we know of anyway. They kept all the details secret for all those years. The more I think about that,
the more you smell something fishy going on? Yeah, me too. What's even weirder is the people involved. I think we know all of them, don't we?
LeGuard, Winner, President Wong. When I think back over all the cases we've been involved with recently, it's true. I can't help but think they're all connected.
Then we have to dig into this latest mystery and snatch the treasure of truth from inside of it. I'll keep updating the simulation as we find new stuff. Just be sure to look over everything super carefully, okay? So we're calling on Mr. Thief's help once again, Come on, Miss Edgeworth, it's Little Thief! And no matter how useful Little Thief is, if the information we plug in is wrong, the simulation will be wrong too. If you spot anything that doesn't make sense, try comparing it to the evidence we've collected. And we can examine and interact with everything in the simulation as if they were really there, correct? Right! Just walk up to it and do what you usually do. Also, we don't have enough to go on right now, but if you can gather enough intel, I can even create a simulation of a different span of time. Add stars in 1 minute. Alright, I'm counting on you should the time come. Okay, I'm connecting these together. So that's what our monstrous hoof prints really were. Wait, what? Recall the arrangement of the prints. Now compare it to that of the planters. Wow! That's right. I believe the footprints are located exactly where our planters once stood. So Chairman Winter was taking around the front of them? He was. And why might he have been doing that? We have a piece of evidence in our possession that answers exactly that question. Which piece of evidence shows why Chairman Winter might have been digging in front of the planters? I don't know.
Take that!
Recall, if you will, the report that Warden LaGuard sent to Chairman Winter. Okay, be right back. Okay, I'm back. I forgot to put the BRB screen up again. Whoops. Must have looked weird. In it, she mentioned something that had been laid to rest in front of a planter. You think she was telling him where to dig? Wait, but why 3 holes? Because the report didn't specify which of the planters she meant. I get it. So he wasn't sure which one it was, which meant he had to try and dig up all 3. I imagine so, yes. Poor Chairman Winner. But why go to all that trouble? What was he looking for? I think that's about all we can learn from the scene for now. Alright, how about I try to show you how things looked earlier on that night? That would be very much appreciated. Could you take us back to the moment at which the victim witnessed the kidnapping? Sure! I'll use the photograph he took. Here goes nothing. There's Mr. All down in the middle of the planters. And there's the president and his kidnapper out by the road.
My father based his investigation on the evidence Aldan provided. That was why he thought the kidnapping and the orphanage were connected somehow.
And how he wound up suspecting Fifi LaGuard. She was the one running the orphanage at the time.
Exactly. But when the case went to trial, Excelsius Winter put a big hole in that theory.
He did?
Yeah, after all, the president and the kidnapper weren't actually on the grounds of the orphanage. So it was hard to conclusively prove any kind of connection.
Huh. So they were never seen inside the gates of the orphanage?
Detectives bust the gut to find evidence on the scene, and then prosecutors come along and twist it for their own ends. Winter and LaGuard were working together. They had some kind of deal, I'm sure of it.
So you're saying that Chairman Winter was working with the kidnapper? Your father was convinced that LaGuard was the culprit, correct? And you say he was a gifted and thorough investigator. And he must have had more to support his theory than just Mr. Aldan's message, surely.
Yeah, he must have. I just don't know what it was. It wasn't exactly a case he liked talking about.
Agent Wong's father, Zhao Long, trusted ally and confidant of President Wong. He discovered truths that were subsequently suppressed by Chairman Winter. Our first priority should be to find out what they were. These footprints stopped by the body. I guess that means they belong to Mr. Aldan, right? His feet were pretty big. What's that? About a size 12? According to the file, they were the same size as his shoes. It's a match! These planters. According to the case file, the yard stretched around 3 sides of the orphanage. And there were 3 planters on each side. Yes, planters arranged in a very particular pattern. One we've seen somewhere before. Saying there aren't many flowers, but I guess it was the winter. Yes, but look at that one. It's bright yellow. Weird, how come there's only one? Wait, it looks like somebody dropped it. That's a lion lily, if I'm not very much mistaken. A rare member of the family Liliaceae. A lion lily, you say? Wait, didn't Jessica Bell give President Wong some lion lilies? What is the same flower doing here? This can't be a coincidence. Can it? I believe this particular cultivar is from Asia, where it's said to symbolize the bond between parent and child. I wasn't aware you were so knowledgeable when it came to flowers, Francisca. Huh, what I just told you is common knowledge. Perhaps you just need to read a little more. I think I read that entire exchange earlier, didn't I? Hey, this arch! Oh, never mind. I've read this before too. Okay, I'll look at this. Mr. Aldan took his picture of the president's kidnapping from here. and then called Rosie Ringer, by which point his killer must have already been approaching from behind, with a brick in their hands, ready to strike. Hey, that snowman! It was melted in the simulation of the morning after the murder, huh? And that muffler was all wet, and his little button eyes had fallen off. Indeed, it still looked reasonably healthy at this point. Although not entirely. I can see one thing that's missing. Aw, poor guy. I bet some kid took it as a stupid prank. Not a bad piece of thieving, though. Maybe they had potential. You think one of the orphans took it? I'm not so sure. In fact, I think it was grabbed by somebody else entirely. I already know that. Let's look at this. Dijun Wong. He was president of Jingfa even back then. Does he look any younger? Kinda dark. Can't really tell. Indeed. And the situation being what it is, his facial expression is somewhat distorted. I wonder where they took him after this. We don't know that yet. But depending on how our investigation progresses, we may find out soon enough. The president's kidnapper. We should see if we can judge anything based on their appearance. Roger that, Red Leader. Alright, let's have a look at you. The first thing to know is that they're holding the president at gunpoint. Trying to look all cool and tough, waving a pistol around. Whoever it is, they suck. Their coat and hat completely cover their face, so unfortunately we can't identify them that way. Turning their color up and pulling their hat down and trying to be all mysterious. I hate this kidnapper. And they seem pretty relaxed. I don't think they're particularly nervous. Yeah, hand in the pocket. Classic show-off move. You suck, you suck, you suck! Hey, that's... What? You said to judge them by their appearance. Well, yes, but I didn't mean it like that. Okay, deduce.
Eureka!
This snowman is missing a certain something, wouldn't you say? Yeah, his right eye! Indeed, luckily we've managed to locate it. The button Mr. Aldan was holding! Look at that! It's the same type of button as the other eye and everything. And if we suppose that the button was indeed the snowman's missing eye, that presents something of a contradiction. What does the button contradict? The victim was clutching the button, and the button was covered with his blood, which means he must have grabbed it after being attacked. Let's run a little hypothetical, shall we? What if, after being struck, Mr. Aldan lost his balance and reached out to grab something to steady himself? The snowman. The snowman wouldn't have supported him, but he would have grabbed the button and continued falling. I get it! So you're saying that he was near the snowman when he was attacked? I am, within arm's reach to be precise. And he's currently nowhere near that close. Right, but his footprints only go as far as the planter. He never came back this way. What if they weren't his footprints? I think we need to look at all the prints again. Alright, I'll take us back to the scene where Mr. Aldan's body was found. But the footprints on the left definitely matched up with Mr. Aldan's shoes, right? So what's the deal? Let's take another look and see if we can figure it out. These footprints go toward the body and come back. According to the case file, they're thought to be the killers. They're about a size 9. Pretty average, in other words. It seems the police weren't able to track down who the murderer was from them, though. Can we really be sure that these are Mr. Aldan's footprints? Well, they're the same size, a 12, which is pretty big, and the prints match his shoes. They also go straight to the middle of the planters where his body was found. But as we've established, when he was attacked, he fell and grabbed the button from the snowman. Well, being a great thief, I know a few contortionist tricks, but that would be way beyond even me. An average Joe stretching his arms that far? Basically impossible. I think we can be reasonably certain that the prints were made by the shoes the victim was wearing. But can we be certain that they were actually the victim's shoes? Perhaps we should take another look at them. These shoes. As the case file says, they match the footprints, but... Huh. These are the victim's shoes. I'm sure of it. What do you mean? Look at how the laces are tied. Don't they look a little strange to you? What's more, they don't appear to fit properly. That's such a weird thing to do. Steal someone's shoes, the person you killed shoes, and replacing them with another set? But these prints, they go right up to where the victim was found, and they stop right by his feet. But they didn't actually belong to him. So are the prints by his head his? The ones that lead away and come back? No, I don't think so. They're too small. So neither set belongs to him? Then how did he get here? That's easy enough. He didn't walk. He was carried by the killer. So then, where did the murder take place? Was it really over by the snowman as we suspect? Warudo does work, kinda. In order to get the tracking data to Warudo, I have to use VC faces to pass through. Oh, okay. It's cool that you got Warudo to work. I think Mr. Aldon's body was moved. How else do we explain the button clutched in his hand? And that would suggest that he was killed somewhere near the snowman. I'd better take a closer look. Nice footprints going toward the body and away from it. The case file says they must have belonged to the murderer. They grow fainter as they get closer to the orphanage gates. That's just because there's less snow over here, no? Be that as it may, it certainly doesn't help in matching the prints up with the name and face. Poor snowman, he's not looking good. It can't be helped. Snow and ice eventually melt. That's just how it is. And so do mysteries. All we have to do is wait. The snowman of the case will melt into the clear water of truth. All you have to do is wait, Kay. I have to work to solve those mysteries. Oh, there's a brick missing. Ah, look, there's a brick missing here. The rest of the brickwork looks fine. Strange that just this one is missing. Got our first logical connection. It seems quite likely that the missing brick was the one used in the murder, wouldn't you say? Oh yeah! Now that you mention it, they're the exact same shape and size. He didn't dig up the brick because it was found by the body. Okay. I think we have to conclude that the murder actually happened over by the snowman. Right! The button came from there, and the brick too. Indeed. And what's more, if the murderer took the brick from right by the snowman, and then tried to sneak up on the victim all the way over by the planters, Mr. Aldon would have seen them right away! Exactly. I think we need to update the simulation, Kay. Mr. Aldon wasn't standing by the planters. He was next to the snowman. Gotcha! Alright, here goes! Now this scene is looking a little weird. Then how did he take a snap of the president getting kidnapped if he was right here, next to them? Let me look at that again, at that picture. Then who took the photograph? It couldn't have been Mr. Alldown. Because the button has already been scraped away. So he is already dead. So who took this photograph? And why would they? Yeah, no matter how you look at it, this just doesn't work, huh? Indeed, everybody who was present is in exactly the same spot. So, where did we go wrong? One of the pieces of evidence on which we based our simulation must be the source of the problem. What if one of them was faked somehow? Well, which one was it? I think it's gotta be the photograph, right?
Take that!
Can we really be certain that this picture was taken by Mr. Alldown? Huh? What do you mean? We know that whoever killed him moved his body. But why would they have done that? What if they wanted to make it seem like he saw something he didn't? And then they took the photo to help back up the lie? They had the president at gunpoint. They could easily have forced him to pose for the picture. He would have had no choice but to comply. Hey, now that you mention it, they only recovered one picture from Mr. Alldown's camera, right? Indeed, I imagine his killer probably removed the film that was already in there, then replaced it with another, thereby ensuring that the only picture found was the one they staged. Yeah, that makes total sense. This picture was actually taken after Mr. Alldown was killed. No way! Why go to the trouble? And there you have it. The picture doesn't show what Mr. Alldown saw at all. It seems highly likely that it was simply staged to make us believe that was the case. Wait, so where was the president when Mr. Alldown thought he saw him being kidnapped? Luckily, the photograph isn't the only piece of evidence we can use to try and figure that out. Oh yeah! He left that voicemail too! He did. I think we should listen back to it one more time, don't you? This is surely the only place where the president and his kidnapper could have been standing. Only one set of footprints here. I don't know. I have no clue. Is it by the Big Blue? I don't know. I don't know the answer to this question. Where was the president standing? It's not letting me listen back to the,
Take that!
That's where they really were? How do you figure that? I don't think that was the right one. So I just chose something so I can look at this. No, I mean, look at this. Hey Rosie, it's me. I guess you're asleep already. Anyway, I'm here at the orphanage. Something weird's going on. President Wong is here for some reason. And there's another... Damn it, the light's out, so I can't quite see, but he looked like he was being kidnapped? Anyway, probably nothing, but I thought I should let you know. The light's out. It was wrong. Okay, the light's out. You mentioned some of the stuff he could see, right? He did. Perhaps we can use that to help us figure out where they were standing. The light's out. Maybe they were here?
Take that!
Recall this statement from Mr. Alldown's voicemail. Damn it, the light's out. Two of the lights here in the yard are broken. Yeah, he must have been talking about the one over by the building. Alright, could you update the simulation to reflect everything we've learned? Sure! And there we have it.
Oh, and there we have it. The kidnapper was really standing over by the building.
Yes, which would certainly have strengthened the theory that they were connected to the orphanage.
So they moved the body and staged the photograph to distort the picture painted by the voicemail, which helped them undermine the idea that the orphanage was involved when the case went to trial.
Well, that certainly changes what this particular part of the simulation tells us. I imagine it will also affect our understanding of the scene from when the body was found. Only one way to find out! Ready to make the jump? To switch between the two recreations, I need to first press Y to talk with K, and then select switch recreations. I'll give it a try later when I need it. There's no mistaking it. This is where Mr. Aldon actually took his pictures, before being attacked by the murderer with a brick from the planter just behind him. After being attacked, he collapsed, grabbing the snowman's right eye as he fell. Which means his body would have been here at first, and not where we thought it was before. Indeed, we should examine the area where we previously thought it fell, too. It's a snowman with one eye missing, and it comes up to about my shoulder. That's a super heavyweight contender right there. Those kids weren't messing around. Never mind its weight and size, I think we need some slightly more in-depth analysis here. Well, it has a bucket for a hat, buttons for eyes, and a nice fluffy muffler. The full snowman uniform. And it looks like it can't wait for me to punch and kick it into 1,000 tiny snowman pieces. Perhaps if we could keep things a little less subjective, Kay? Can we really be sure that these are Mr. Aldon's footprints? Well, they're the same size, a 12, which is pretty big, and the prints match his shoes. They also go straight to the middle of the planters where his body was found. But as we've established, when he was attacked, he fell and grabbed the button from the snowman. Well, being a great thief, I know a few contortionist tricks, but that would be way beyond even me. Whoops. Okay, I guess I've read this before. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to click on the flower. Mr. Aldon wasn't killed here between the planters at all. Then, what's this blood doing here? Things have changed considerably in terms of what the simulation is showing us. But if we want to look more closely at this blood, I think we'll be better off looking at the simulation from the point at which the body was discovered. And what are we waiting for? I'm ready when you are. So this is when Mr. Aldon actually saw the president and his kidnapper. Yes. Which pretty clearly suggests a link between the kidnapping and the orphanage. You can see why so much trouble was taken to suggest that it happened elsewhere. Yeah, they pulled some really dirty tricks there. Making a photo like that? That's just cheating. Not to mention disposing of Mr. Aldon's camera film and forcing the president to pose at gunpoint. They must have put it in some new film, then staged the photo immediately afterward. And if Chairman Winner was involved, he could have changed or hidden other evidence as well. It certainly doesn't help that the SS5 case file was classified until just recently. Yeah, but he's behind bars now, and the truth is coming out at last. Indeed, although much still remains unclear. We need to look very closely at the differences between this and the previous simulation. Ooh, so you want to know all about Little Thief's exciting new features, huh? I'm not sure I do, actually. Hey, don't be like that. Just sit back and feast your eyes on your ears on what I have to tell you. Little Thief will also use it to recreate a scene in a bunch of different and super interesting ways. So you were going to tell me no matter what I answered? At the moment, we've got a recreation based on the original police reports. And another based on what we learned from Mr. Aldon's voicemail. Anytime you want to switch between the two, just say the word. A kidnapping, a murder, and now a fire. There's too much going on here. I can't keep up. The fire was started earlier on the evening of the incident, if I remember rightly. Before the kidnapping and the murder, in other words. Does that mean something? The timing of the fire, I mean? I wonder if it might, yes. Isn't there something here that can't be correct if the fire actually happened first? Happened with 3 Ps. I should take another look at the effects of the fire on the crime scene and compare it to the evidence. You want me to show you the scene as reported in the police's case files, right? Okay, let's take another look at how things were when they found the body. And there we have it. So this is where Mr. Aldan really met his fate. But he was moved in order to make the scene consistent with the stage photograph. Over to the spot between the planters. The footprints, the fact that they go over there and come back. Yes, I think that tells us something important. That they were left by whoever carried him over there. Oh, I didn't mean to click the footprints again. Blood? Blood on the snow. A lot of it. It certainly looks as if a murder occurred here, doesn't it? Wait, but we just figured out that Mr. Aldown was killed over by the snowman, right? We did. I think this blood might belong to somebody else. What? The police report said the blood was Mr. Aldown's. Need I remind you that the case was overseen by Chairman Winner? The man would have had no scruples about altering the official record over something this small. But then why go to all that trouble? Couldn't he have just cleaned up the blood instead? He wasn't able to. Think about it. He knew that this was where the police would find Mr. Aldown's body. And he knew that the police would have certain scientific methods at their disposal to look for clues.
Jonas is water just redeemed
Hi
hydrate.
Jonas, thank you for redeeming Hydrate. How are you doing today? Oh, you mean luminol? Yeah, they would have found traces of blood if they used that for sure. Exactly. He wouldn't have been able to clean it up to the point where it was undetectable. Far easier to falsify the results of any such tests when they came back in. It would simply have been a matter of replacing the official results with a doctor's copy. Yeesh! So we've been looking at a forgery this whole time? Sucks. Wait, but it says Mr. Aldown's clothes were covered with blood too. It does, and if they were, which seems entirely believable, it suggests that whoever's blood this is, it wasn't yet dry when Mr. Aldown's body was placed here. I get it! Which means that the other person's blood was spilled not long before Mr. Aldown was killed. Doing pretty good, getting a ton of work done that it had to catch up on. That's great! Always good to be productive. I think it does, yes. But if that's the case, doesn't that present something of a contradiction? Somebody's dropped a yellow flower here. It's a lion lily, right? According to Franziska, yes. They're originally from Asia, if I recall correctly. Yep, and she said it symbolizes the ponds being painted or tiled, right? No. Okay. What am I deducing right now? Let me look at my evidence. Let me look back at this. But it says Mr. Aldown's clothes were covered with blood too. They were, which is entirely believable. It suggests that whoever blood this is, it wasn't yet dry when Mr. Aldown's body was placed here. I get it, which means that the other person's blood was spilled not long before Mr. Aldown was killed. I think it does, yes. That presents something of a contradiction. Contradiction. Okay. sure it's still right in front of the planter where we left it. Cause of death. Loss of blood resulting from a blow to the back of the head with a brick. Message. The blood on the button, maybe?
Eureka!
Okay, it wasn't that. The snow was melted by the fire, right? And when did the fire happen? You need to take another look and think about that.
Eureka!
There's a clear contradiction here. Huh? In the blood stain? The blood is clearly cut off where the snow was melted by the fire, which means that the blood in question was spilled before the fire was started. Huh? The fire happened before the murder, no? If we choose to believe the case file, yes. But if the fire was actually set after what happened here...
The kid who lit it might have seen something.
Then why isn't there a witness statement? Because that would have challenged Chairman Winter's version of events.
We need to know more about this fire. You! Yes, Shifu. The fire might have been reported to the police, which means there might be a record of it. Go see if they have anything, and bring everything you find back here right away. Understood, Shifu. I'll get right on it. One more thing. What is it, Shifu? Contact my family back in Jingba. Tell them to search my father's office. There should be something there related to the case.
There should? What kind of something exactly?
I told you I'd seen the scene somewhere before, didn't I? Well, I've remembered where. It was in my father's office. He had a picture of it. Or at least of something very much like it.
What?
It looked like it was drawn by a child.
Possibly a child from the orphanage. Possibly even the child who set the fire.
It should still be there somewhere. Tell them to send it right away. Yes, Shifu.
I don't believe there is any more to be found here. Yeah, but it's letting me look, so... Oh, right here. This is the only part where there's no snow, huh? Because of the fire one of the kids set. I imagine the snow here melted as a result. This must be the unluckiest orphanage in the world. First a fire, then a murder? Talk about going from bad to worse. The fire came first? Just because it caused the snow to melt. A logic time. The body's where it should be now, over by the snowman. Kinda sad nobody being here anymore, huh?
No, Kay, not even slightly.
Now that the body has gone, there may be new clues for us to discover. Let's go over the scene with a fine-tooth comb one more time. Yes, sir! Understood, sir! I think that's it. Yep. I think Mr. Aldown's body was moved. How else do we explain the button clenched in his hand? And that would suggest that he was killed somewhere near the snowman. I don't believe there is any more to be found here. So there are planters outside the orphanage gates, too. Look! We planted stuff that flowers in winter under all that snow! Indeed, a little frigid, but tasteful nonetheless, even if this is a simulation. Yes, indeed, a bit frosty looking, but tasty nonetheless, for a simulation. Oh, I don't think those go. They do go together. Okay. If Chairman Winner was involved in President Wong's abduction, then it seems likely that whatever he dug up yesterday had something to do with the kidnapping. Oh, I get it. You do? You bet I do. We're talking treasure, right? Loot. He must have been digging up the ransom money. The ransom money? $100 million is an awful lot of cash. Burying it would have been a good way to keep it hidden until the heat died down. It certainly seems like a possibility. Hehe, glad you agree. Investigation complete.
Shifu, I'm back. I brought everything the police had on the fire, and I also brought the picture from your father's office. Bro really pulled a Breaking Bad, having $100 million in hard cash lying around. It's an awful lot of money. I don't know how he would have buried it. And how it wouldn't have been discovered. Because that's a lot to be shoveling. A lot of dirt. Oh, and one more about time. What kept you, huh? Well, hand it over.
Let's take a look at this mysterious picture, shall we?
This is it. This is the picture I remember.
Could this be a depiction of something that happened on the night of the incident? Well, she would look different. Bodied Harma Canis. Jelly the Killer. I'll fall down. Celsius Winner. What is this showing us? It's a very good drawing. One of them is holding a bouquet and a Taurus plushie. So that might be the victim. Niju Wong. And then the next person might have been was it the journalist maybe? He wasn't wearing a hat, so it could certainly be him. He's wearing glasses. Doesn't really look like him because the glasses aren't there. The Taurus plushie. It's got two horns instead of just the one. Which the one does have one horn. Okay. It sure looks like a kid drew it, huh? Yes, and I'm willing to bet it's the work of the child who set the fire.
Shifu, there's...
What now?
Look, it'll have to wait, okay? Well, Mr. Prosecutor, why do you think my father kept this?
I imagine he acquired it at some point during his investigation. Although I have no idea why he would have chosen to keep it to himself. Did we see the case file for the fire, too?
Sure, here.
If you'll just give me a moment to read through it. It seems the boy who started the fire snuck out of bed on the evening of the incident. And then disappeared several days later.
What? Must have been because he saw something, right?
No! A kid? Really? That's horrible! but sadly not unimaginable.
Huh? Looks like the kid left something behind that was put into evidence. Huh? What's this?
It must be the horn from the plushie. But what's it doing in that case file?
What is it, Mr. Prosecutor? Have you seen this somewhere before?
Something very much like it, yes. We have a piece of evidence that could well be connected. Which item of evidence relates to the item the boy left behind?
Take that!
I don't know what it was doing in the evidence for that case, but it looks like that might be the missing horn from this soft toy.
Hey, that was President Wong.
You've seen it before?
Of course! He always kept it somewhere close by. I remember it because of the missing piece.
I see. It has a special device inside it that plays recorded sounds when you twist the horn. Hey, do you think maybe putting the horn back on might unlock more recordings? You never know. The toy itself should still be up on the 51st floor.
Hey, you heard the man. Yes, Shifu. I'll go fetch it right away. Here it is, Shifu. The Torosaurus doll, just like you asked. Good work. Hand it to the prosecutor over there.
Well, does the horn found at the orphanage fit the president's plushie? It fits perfectly!
And? Any more recordings on there? Hi, Kijun. Sorry. President Wong. It's me. Emily. I know it's been a while.
I saw on the news that you were visiting the country soon. And I didn't know whether I should get in touch at all, but in the end I decided I had to.
Overruled!
Turn it off. Turn it off. Right now.
What's gotten into Judge Cavell? Are you okay?
Just turn it off, please! You see, I had a baby. A beautiful little boy. Your beautiful little boy.
I'm sorry, that's pretty much all I wanted to tell you.
Oh, except I called him Sean. Sean Fenn.
Has a nice ring to it, don't you think? So she's the adoptive parent.
No!
Sean Fenn?
The kid?
And also that I'll be at the orphanage on the evening of the 9th. I'll be waiting in the front yard. I thought you could meet him if you like, even if it's only just this once. I know you're a very busy man, but anyway, that's where we'll be. Goodbye.
What? He was my dad? I'm so sorry, Sean. Care to explain what the heck is going on, Gavel? Sean isn't my biological son. I adopted him.
And he was aware of this?
Yes, of course. His mother, Amelie Fenn. She died 5 years ago. We were cousins.
Gasp. It's, adopted. I thought that they didn't look that much alike. I thought that was just a stylistic choice. But, yeah.
We were cousins. But we were also friends. The best of friends. People often mistook us for sisters. And so, when she died, it seemed only natural that Sean should come and live with me. Of course, he had to keep his father's identity secret. And I decided that the best way to do that would be for him to never know in the first place.
That's quite a lot to learn from a recording made on a seemingly innocent toy. I guess Sean's mother must have recorded the message and then sent the plushie to the president.
Hey! Yes, Sean? You're sure? He was really my dad? Yes, I'm sure. Before you were born, your mother worked for a time as a diplomat in Zhengfa.
Makes sense. That line of work might well have brought her into contact with the president.
What? You told me she worked at the orphanage! She did, but only after she returned. After she quit the diplomatic service.
Kid's got the milk sweats! Oh, he does, doesn't he? This is why you shouldn't drink that much milk, kids. Because you'll get the milk sweats. It's really nasty. And it smells bad, too.
She always loved helping others. The orphanage was perfect for her.
Not so fast!
Sorry, Judge Cuphead, but I have to ask. Amelie, the lady who asked the president to come, why didn't she show up herself? Why isn't she anywhere in the files related to the SS5 incident? She never made it to the rendezvous that night. Someone was tailing her.
I'll bet that was Chairman Winter's doing. Oh my gosh, Long is back? Absolutely, he's back.
So sadly, we can't prove it. And because she couldn't make it, he never saw the president again.
Then she died 5 years ago. This can't be easy for Sean. Hey, Sean, are you thirsty? We could go get a soda? He's already got his own milk with him. He got the whole pack with him?
No, he doesn't. He's only got one.
He's only got one subordinate with him. Also, Kay, why are you offering him a soda? He's got plenty of milk in his backpack. He can't be thirsty. One sip, let's go! My treat, okay? Come on, I think I saw a vending machine over.
You think I can't buy myself a soda? This is important and it's about me. I'm staying.
Oh! That didn't work at all.
Sean, perhaps now you can guess why I met with the president 2 nights ago.
Well, that's it. That was the big secret.
I wanted to tell him face to face that Amelie was gone, but also that you were alive and well. More than well.
But It makes sense now. No wonder Judge Cuphead was so keen to avoid sharing the details of their meeting. Yeah, she would have had to share the truth about Sean, too.
That was why I took the lion lilies with me, so there would be no doubt that I knew Amelie, and that I knew her well. These flowers bore a special significance for the two of them, you see. President Wong gave Amelie a bouquet of lion lilies in the early days of their romance. But now, he too is dead. If only he had lived, Sean might finally have been able to get to know him. Sifu, I've been waiting for the right time to say this, but... What? What is it? You've been hovering there this whole time. Can it wait? They sent something else from Jingfa. President Wong's will. What?
The president's will, huh?
He gave my father medal after medal. They had to come up with new ones just for him.
Dead parents, that's rough, kid. On the bright side, he could become a cow-based vigilante. That's true. He's already got the get-up for it.
In the end, there were no medals left to give, so we made us the keepers of his last will and testament. Those medals, that duty, they're our greatest pride, our family jewels. What? This is...
Mr. Moo! That's his name, that's his superhero name, Mr. Moo. What is it, Agent Long? Does it have anything to do with our current case?
You could say that. Seems he was planning on publicly acknowledging Sean as his son. Sean's name appears in the president's will?
And we're certain that the document is authentic? That President Wong wrote it himself?
There we are. It's old, but it's real. My family took charge of it back before the SS5 incident happened.
This is so dramatic. We can't help but gasp.
They'll want to analyze it back home to be sure, but I'd stake my name on it being the genuine article.
Wong was a renowned world leader. A child nobody knew about would have been sure to cause a stir. And yet he chose to mention the child in his will nonetheless.
Well, that's that, I guess. I still can't quite believe it, but the president confirms it with his own hand. There's no denying it, Sean. You're President Wong's son.
Gasp! Sean in the house. Instead of Corey in the house, it's Sean in the house.
Sean!
Oh no, he's run away! Shine! To be continued? Did we just finally hit middle? Oh wait, we were already in the middle. Never mind. We're in middle 2! Middle part 2. Tiny Presidente! April 6th, 4:51 p.m. Big building, empty lot. Look at how many characters there are, Relics. There are so many of them, and I have managed to give most of them their own voice. I'm trying my very best for this voice acting. Sean. He was my dad? It can't have been easy learning the truth about his father's identity so unexpectedly. And too late to ever get to know him. You know how hard I tried to find him? This game's cast gets so huge. It does. Let's see. Let's look at the profiles. That is 4, 8. That's almost 24 characters. That's 22. Happens when you have an open air investigation. Yeah. You know how hard I tried to find him? Don. I get it. He was the president. He had a lot more to think about than just me. But he was right there in front of me. Right there on the set. So why? Why didn't he just say something? Why didn't he tell me who he was? I'm sorry, Sean. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault, Mom. It's mine. If I hadn't broken my promise to you, that fire would have never happened, and he wouldn't have... I ruined everything. Everything. It's all my fault. I even ruined your flowers. Sean, please. You mustn't blame yourself. Just try to be here with me. Just for a little while. The bond between parent and child, as symbolized by the lion lily. I'm no expert, but it's native to Zhangfa, so I know that much at least. Sadly, we don't have the luxury of dwelling on such things just now. I know it might seem insensitive, Agent Long, but sentimentality won't help us here. We need to focus on what we can do about the case before us. Sigh, you're right. I believe we've learned all we need to about what happened back then for now. How did it all line up with your father's theories about the case? I wouldn't know. He took those to the grave with him. He never shared his thoughts with anybody. There's no way of knowing now what he figured out. What about your own thoughts? Are you feeling any more positive in light of what we learned from case reconstruction? Are we any closer to learning what really happened 12 years ago? You know, I think we might be. My father's footsteps are starting to become clear. Now all we need to do is follow them. All the way to the truth. The real story of the SS5 incident. The president went to the orphanage that night. That much we know for sure. The Torosaurus toy proves it. He must have gone there to meet with Amelie Fenn. Except he was kidnapped, and Alldown happened to see it. If Alldown hadn't been there wouldn't have been a murder, just a kidnapping. Instead, they had to move his body to the planters and stage that photo to throw everybody off the scent. The boys are collaborating! Kissing. No, not kissing! We both know that Edgeworth and Phoenix are the ship. Not Edgeworth and Long. So that's our current theory, is it? But there's something I still don't understand. There is? This. Why risk staging the picture? They would have had to force the president to play along. What if he hadn't? It's a good question. And we may be closer to discovering the answer than we think. We'll just have to get there one deduction at a time. Yeah, I guess we will. Alright, deduce away. Rebuttal. The president went to the orphanage. That much we know for sure.
Hold it!
Nothing should be taken for granted at this stage. We need to treat even the seemingly certain with caution. Can we really be sure that the president went to the orphanage?
I get it. You want evidence?
This is a nice change of pace from people asking you to show them proof, huh, Miss Edgeworth? There's no need to actually say it out loud, Kay.
The Torosaurus toy proves it. He must have gone there to meet with Amelie Fenn.
Hold it!
The plushie? It has a recording device concealed inside it, correct?
It does, and it was used by Sean's mother, Amelie.
Ad starts in 1 minute! To record a message asking the president to meet her at the orphanage at midnight. Wow! You're finishing each other's sentences now? What a team! I guess the boys are kissing, huh? You two will peel away the layers of the truth like an onion, I'm sure of it. You do realize that there's nothing underneath all the layers of an onion, don't you, Kay? Could you try to say something a little less unfortunate sounding? You two will peel away the layers of the truth like the skin of a wolf. I'm sure of it.
He said less unfortunate sounding. Ahem. Shall I continue? Except he was kidnapped and Aldown happened to see it.
Do we really think he just happened to see it? I think it was planned. Could we go over the details once again? The Mr. Aldown saw the president being kidnapped from right by the orphanage. And he was standing next to the snowman.
The murderer crept up behind him, grabbed a brick, and... Ow!
Eek! Calm down, Kay. We're simply verifying our understanding of events. Yeah, well that little outburst just blew my understanding out of my ears. I know we have to go over all this again, but can we do it a little less dramatically?
Really? Fine. I'm happy to keep answering it if you're happy to keep asking.
Okay, ad break starts soon, so I'll be right back. Years ago, an ad break started. This is true. 12 years ago on this day, at this very moment. Okay, we're back. I'll try and find a good stopping point in the next 23 minutes.
If Aldown hadn't been there, there wouldn't have been a murder, just a kidnapping.
Hold it!
If Mr. Alden hadn't been there, huh? That's an interesting suggestion. Care to explain?
There's not a whole lot to explain. He saw the kidnapping, so he was murdered.
No. Why did they bother to murder him? There's something weird about this. We're missing something, right? Because he didn't just happen to be there, and someone just happened to come behind him with a brick to kill him. They were planning on him being there, and they planned on killing him. Why in the middle of kidnapping the president of a country would they do that? I can't put the pieces together. We're missing something, right?
There's not a whole lot to explain. He saw the kidnapping, so he was murdered. If he hadn't been there, maybe the kidnapping could have happened without any blood being spilled.
But could it? He makes it sound as if it was Mr. Alden's fault he was murdered. That's not what Agent Long is saying, Kay. What he means is that Mr. Alden was the only person who died at the orphanage that night. Well, of course he was. They kidnapped the president and everything. But the ransom was paid and he came home safely, right? She's right, of course. But why does something bother me about that? I think it might be worth taking another look over all the evidence.
Finish discussing things with your assistant, Mr. Prosecutor? Then let's continue, shall we? I'm never gonna be able to do this fucking Californian accent. Instead, they had to move his body to the planners and stage that photo to throw everybody off the scent.
Hold it!
This is another very important part of our current theory. Shall we go over all of the details again?
Sure, probably a good idea. Alright, first, what did Alden see? He saw the president being kidnapped from right in front of the building.
But the kidnappers were keen to avoid any suggestion that they might be connected with the orphanage.
Yep, so they replaced the film in Alden's camera and staged a photograph of the kidnapping occurring further away from the building.
Indeed, and then they moved Mr. Alden's body to a location consistent with what that picture showed.
Grr! The secrets buried underneath the snow 12 years ago are finally coming to light.
And we're sure that's really what happened that night?
No, we are not sure.
What's the matter, Miss Edgeworth? I get the sense we're still not seeing everything, that there's something else at play behind it all. There is? But what? There's a piece of evidence we've discovered that Agent Long's theory can't explain. We had to present it with it, and develop our thinking further. Okay. What was there? Occurred on February 10th, 12 years ago. President Zhang Fa was kidnapped and ransomed for $100 million. President's presence at embassy until midnight confirmed by Da Longlong. Prosecutor in charge Excelsius Winner. Suspect Fifi Laguard. Investigation note. President Wang was supposed to meet Amelie Fan at the orphanage at midnight. Witness Alden was murdered, his body moved, and a photograph of a kidnapping staged. When was... He was killed at 1 a.m. Maybe it's the blood? Maybe it was the fire. If Alden hadn't been there wouldn't have been a murder, just a kidnapping. Sometime during the evening before the incident, there was a fire there. Whose blood is this? So we're saying that the fire was set sometime in the evening before the incident, but that it also managed to melt the snow where the blood was found? That doesn't make sense. The fire must have happened afterwards.
Objection!
Whose blood is this? You're saying there would have been no murder if Mr. Aldan hadn't witnessed the kidnapping? But is that really the case?
Why wouldn't it be? Their main aim was to abduct the president, right? So if there hadn't been a witness present, they wouldn't have needed to murder anybody.
And yet it remains possible that Mr. Aldan wasn't the only person killed that night. There was a large pool of blood between the planters, and Mr. Aldan was murdered over by the snowman. It can't have belonged to him. What if all that blood by the planters belonged to somebody else?
Knuckle back!
Come on, Mr. Prosecutor. You do realize what you're saying, don't you?
I do. It's hard to believe. I'll be the first to admit it. But it's what the evidence suggests. Not just one person was killed here 12 years ago, but two.
You're saying they covered up a whole separate murder? But whose? Who else was killed that night?
Whoever covered up this other homicide did so very skillfully indeed. They even seem to have been able to avoid it being mentioned in the files. But they didn't quite get rid of everything. We have a piece of evidence from 12 years ago that they never managed to erase. This clearly shows that something else happened that night. Is it the plushie? The child's drawing, maybe?
Take that!
Excelsius Winter tried to shroud the existence of the other murder in darkness, but there was one piece of evidence he wasn't able to suppress, thanks to the efforts of your father, Agent Long.
My father?
Cast your mind back, if you will. Something else was hidden along with all the other evidence from the crime scene. The existence of the child who set the fire in front of the orphanage. But why would Chairman Winter wish to erase him from the record? Because he saw something he should not have. That's why. He did? What was it? It's right here in this picture. I just realized who it is! It's Candace! I was wondering who it was! It's him! With his dog! The ex-assassin! Bodied Harma Canis was there that night. And he met with the president. Who had a bouquet of lion lilies and the plushie. Look, that's his dog, right there.
The picture my father kept.
I think we can all agree that that's the president on the right-hand side. And that's the Torosaurus toy in his hand. But who's that standing across from him?
Take that!
Eastern robes and a black dog. That can only be Bodhidharma Canis. What? That creepy assassin guy? And what would a hired killer be doing in the presence of a president? I can think of only one thing. That's right, it wasn't a kidnapping that occurred here 12 years ago. It was an assassination.
Yeah!
And Warden LaGuard and Chairman Winter were... Yes, I think they were complicit. More than complicit, in fact. One provided the venue for the killing, and the other suppressed the testimony of the child who witnessed it. Mr. Aldan was murdered because what he witnessed was actually an assassination, and not the kidnapping he thought it to be at all.
Knuckle back!
So, do you think I'm an idiot? How could the president have died 12 years ago? We only found his body this morning. He was alive and well until just recently.
Yeah, we even met him. Indeed, so we have a president killed 12 years ago, and a president killed in the last 48 hours. Two presidents, in other words. Right, which is completely impossible. Or is it? I think it's entirely possible for there to be two presidents. In fact, that would explain a lot. What if he has a twin? What if this is one of those things that they do in fiction where one of them has like a secret twin? But regardless of what happened, I still respected him. Jiangfa may not be a big country, but he held that place together. That would explain his personality change. If it was his twin brother, his unknown secret twin brother replacing him. The President Agent Long spoke of was a noble and capable leader. Who you talking to? I'm talking to myself, really. The presidential mask has well and truly slipped. Entirely unlike the man we met. It really did seem as if they were two completely different people. Let me test YouTube chat overlay. It's right there. Cool, it works. Yeah, it works! I have StreamerBot on, running locally on the laptop now. I was worried having so many programs up would mess up the streaming aspect, but it's working fine. It really did seem as if they were two completely different people. But how could one country have two presidents? What could explain a situation like that? A secret twin brother? Please don't do this. If they... So you might want to make messages appear from the top so the first episode messages are blocked by the face. You know what? That's true. I can do that right now. So I don't forget. Cat direction. I accidentally put up a preview? How do I get rid of this? I just did something weird. What is this? Studio mode? Oh, okay. I turned on studio mode by accident. Yeah, it comes from the top now. Oh my god! They were twins! That's one of the answers! One was a body double? He did have body doubles, but the body doubles aren't that close that people wouldn't notice that they were completely different people. Unless the body double was like the Yakuza like a dragon body double dude. Who got he got plastic surgery in order to look like the person he was a body double of. But I think it would be simpler for them to just be twins. Could the president not have been a twin?
Yeah, that could maybe explain it.
Not so fast!
Sorry, but it couldn't. President Wong was an only child. That's a matter of record.
Okay, so it was a body double then.
Give it up. There's no way there could have been two presidents. It's just not possible.
It is, and I'm going to prove it to you. This is how it was possible for there to be two presidents. One of the two was a body double. Tell me that doesn't make sense.
A body double?
President Wong was a man of great power and influence as Jin Fa, a figure on the world stage. There must have been countless attempts on his life over the years, such as the one at Gourd Lake only a few days ago.
Not so fast!
It's true, there were more than a few assassination attempts. But that doesn't mean I'm about to accept that there was more than one president. Not without proof.
Do we have any proof that there was more than one president? Do we have proof that there was more than one president? President Wong is here for some reason, and there's another got cut off. Do we have any proof that there was more than one president? Wait, it could be the photo. Maybe. It could be this photo. Or it could be this, and there's another. His face looks a little bit different. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try the photograph first, and if that doesn't work, then I'll try the final call, and if that doesn't work, then I'll try child's drawing, and if that doesn't work, I'm gonna try the victim's shoes.
Take that!
This proves it, Shirley. You have to agree that there were two presidents now.
Sorry, but I don't. Not based on that anyway. Long G says. Bad proof has no mouth. In other words, meaningless evidence can tell us nothing.
If you could prove that he'd ever been in two places at once, that would be pretty good evidence that there were two presidents, right? It would. Let's look over the evidence again and consider the facts of the case. Typically when the music fades out after you present it, that means it's correct? Yeah.
What you're saying is impossible. There can't have been two presidents.
God. I was drawing.
Take that!
Damn it, not that one either. I think there's a cat outside meowing. Let me take off my headphones for a second. I don't know. I could have sworn I heard something.
Take that!
Okay, it wasn't the victim's shoes either.
Take that!
Okay, it wasn't any of the evidence that I thought it might be. So confused. What could it be? Did you try the autopsy? It could be that maybe, since this incident that happened 12 years ago seems to be in a similar manner. Good idea. We only have the autopsy stuff from Mr. Alden's autopsy. We have the S5 incident case file though. All the way to the left? What? You mean the report on night? More left? That's the right. I'm sorry, Twitch chat is 5 seconds behind. Left. It is not on the screen. Oh, this autopsy report. April 5th at approximately 11 p.m.
Take that!
Oh, my phone just rang. I forgot to turn, take it off sound.
Take that!
All that effort for nothing. That's the truth.
Take that!
The statement? I'm gonna lose this. Does it say she didn't see the president?
Take that!
It wasn't that either. IS-7? Why do we still have this?
Take that!
Okay, we're gonna lose this. Damn. Dirk! Dirk! I don't understand. We still don't know who was in the red raincoat, by the way. They did not need to go this hard on a game over.
Take that!
I don't think he's noticed the contradiction staring him in the face. Or is he just unable to accept it? Oh, I just got it! It was the case file. President's presence at embassy until midnight confirmed by Da Long Long. President Wang was supposed to meet Amelie Fen at the orphanage at midnight. Jason was struck on the head and died at 1 a.m. on February 10th.
What's the matter, Mr. Prosecutor? You're pretty quiet all of a sudden.
In Amelie Fen's recording, she asked the president to be at the orphanage at midnight. But it shouldn't have been possible for him to be there at that time. Huh? How come? Because he was supposedly still at the embassy. With your father, Agent Long. Though he had noticed. The only way he could have been in two places at once is if there were two of him.
Oh, woo! So the real president, that was the one who
Died 12 years ago? I think it might have been.
But why? And who? Who would have hired Candace to murder the president?
In order to figure that out, we'll need to look again at the piece of evidence we recently discovered was a fake. The fake evidence. What was it again?
Take that!
The picture taken with Mr. Aldown's camera was staged sometime after his murder, and Mr. Aldown was murdered because he witnessed the president's assassination. In other words, the photograph, too, must have been taken after the real president's death. So who is the president in the staged photograph? The body double. Nothing else makes sense. I believe the president's double had him killed so that he could take his place permanently. An Excelsius winner and Fifi LaGuardia helped him do it.
Not so fast!
Wait, you don't even have a body to support your theory. Are you telling me it magically disappeared?
Objection!
No, in fact, we know exactly where it wound up. The president's body was here the whole time. The president's body was where? Was it the monster footprints?
Take that!
Him and Winter dug something up last night. Something he couldn't trust anybody else to retrieve. We thought it might have been the ransom money, but it was actually something even more important. Wait! You mean? That's right, the real president's body. I think it's highly likely anyway.
What?
The body may have decomposed in the intervening years, but the bones would surely have remained. Mr. Powers informed us that construction is due to start here sometime soon. Everything had to be wrapped up before then. The shooting of the movie, and the recovery of the president's remains. Yeah, I guess once they started digging the place up, they would have found them pretty quick, huh? Agent Long, we need to have the so-called monster footprints analyzed again.
Yeah, I guess we do. If there was a body under one of them, there should be trace evidence to confirm it. Hey, get me somebody from forensics! Sir, presenting the findings of our analysis, sir. Traces of human remains were found in the dirt, along with other signs of a body having been buried. Grr, so it really was him? Bones were also recovered from the home of Excelsius Winner. The physique looks to be about right, and dental and medical records are a match. It's him, no doubt about it.
So, as suspected, the real President Wong was killed 12 years ago, and the SS5 kidnapping was in fact a homicide. Wow! So it really was a murder, huh? This case is taking so many twists and turns, I'm starting to lose track. Yes, perhaps we should summarize our findings just to confirm that we understand everything correctly. Good idea! Let's go over everything from the point where the president arrived at the orphanage. This might be a good place to start. To stop, actually. Because we'll have a nice summary of the events that took place at the very beginning of the stream. We're also still just in the middle. Like, is this game fucking serious? Tomorrow is Wednesday. So yes, I'll be streaming this on Friday. So tomorrow is going to be Need for Speed. Thursday is stenography practice, and Friday is more Ace Attorney. That's good then? Yeah. I'll be downloading that today. Let's see. It's good? Yeah. Let's, Saki is probably streaming again. Let me check to make sure that he's streaming. Where's Saku? He's not streaming today? That's weird. Okay, well then we're going to raid the Space Jays. He is currently playing The Legend of Klimori. I don't know what that is. Let me know if you need any help. Okay. The Space Jays. I trust the Space Jays. I gotta go. Bye! Thanks for sticking around for so long. And for testing out the YouTube overlay. Goodbye, everybody. See y'all tomorrow for Need for Speed. Our special third game.